A new era begins this season with the Patriots as Gerard Mayo takes over as head coach. He'll be coaching his first game tonight, preseason game number 1. And we send it down to Bob Sosi, who catches up with the coach of the Pats right now.
All right, guys, thanks so much. Joined by the head coach of the Patriots, Gerard Mayo. The first 2 weeks of training camp, Gerard, are supposed to be eventful. Yours have been especially newsworthy. You've had a lot to deal with. You've had injuries, contract situations. How does it feel to finally be here on the cusp of coaching your first game as the head coach of the Patriots in the preseason?
Yeah, anytime we can, get the opportunity to go out there and do the thing that we love, not only coaches but also players, it's an exciting time. All that other stuff, that's part of the business. It's a business side of it and the football side of it, and I would say right now we're just focused on the football side. You've
given us the indication that if players are healthy, they're going to be out there tonight against the Panthers. What are you looking for, first and foremost, from them collectively?
Yeah, collectively, it's really about the energy and the passion that you go out there and play with. It's really, look, I told the guys earlier, the game doesn't count, but it does matter. And it's about going out there and really creating an identity on all three sides of the ball, special teams, offense, and defense. So I just want those guys to go out there and play with passion and really go out there and execute. And it comes back down to fundamentals. Can we tackle? Can we run? Can we catch the ball? Can we throw the ball? That's what really wins games.
Thinking about the 2 weeks of training camp to start to build that identity, how have you put your own stamp on this team, trying to continue things that work from your own experience as a player and coach, but also try to do it in Gerard Mayo's philosophy?
Yeah, I always say it's not my team, it's our team. There's nothing I can do for the guys once they cross the white lines. And I think, being able to go out there and empower those players to go out there and make checks, to make plays, to be excited, that's kind of what I want to see.
We're going to see Jacoby Brissett back in a Patriots uniform at quarterback. What kind of an asset has he been with regards to his leadership and as well the communication to make sure that the proper checks are made, that everybody's on the same page?
He's done a fantastic job just, working with the quarterback room and also, just everyone on offense. This guy, he talks a lot of noise, but he can back it up. And I think he brings a special energy to the football field and also stability. And so when you think about, how he's mentoring that room, you have 2 rookies in there and also Zappy, who's played in the NFL. And this guy is unfazed. He's going out there, he's doing his job. And, he also helps develop those guys.
Drake May, the rookie quarterback. You have another first-year quarterback in Joe Milton. How do you expect to distribute their playing time tonight?
We'll see how it's going. Look, Drake will go out there sometime in the first quarter, and then we'll just see how it's going with him and the offensive line as well and the weapons around him. And then when he gets out, he'll still be engaged. We'll give him a headset, and he should be making those calls on the sideline as well, continuing to develop like in practice.
Considering the offensive line has been somewhat in flux, how does that impact your decision in handling the quarterback's playing time?
I think it's definitely something you have to think about. You always want the starting offensive lineman out there, but we also have to evaluate the guys behind the starters on the offensive line. And look, Joe and Drake and Zappy and as well as Jacoby, all those guys have played behind offensive lines where they didn't know if someone was going to run free or not. And it's how those guys deal with that adversity or how they deal with the younger players that are still developing, which is something that we're going to evaluate going forward.
You've made it very clear you want to be a team that runs the ball. And what should we expect tonight in terms of establishing that physicality offensively?
Yeah, tonight it's one of those days where, look, Carolina, they're going to know you're running the ball, and we know we're going to run the ball. Now it's time to move bodies. And I think if we can get these backs started, they'll have a tremendous day.
How about defensively? There's so much continuity, chemistry back there with a large group of the players that you have coming back. Guys who've been around for a long time, played a lot of snaps defensively for you. What are you looking for from the other guys, the complementary pieces defensively?
Yeah, I think first and foremost, it's communication. When you have a bunch of new players out there, who's going to really take the lead? And that's something that we will evaluate tonight. And then also, can they tackle? Can they go out there and fly around? Those are all things that are important to a good defensive team.
You set the tone in training camp this week. You had players tackling to the ground, not just goal line, but on the field. What prompted that change this year compared to what we've seen in more recent seasons?
I think it was important for those guys, the backs and all the ball carriers, to really feel like what it's like to get hit in an NFL game, and also from a defensive perspective, a special teams perspective, like those guys had to go tackle someone before Carolina comes tonight. So I just thought it was important.
The dynamic kickoff, what do you make of the new rule, and how do you see it playing out? You think teams are going to kind of hide things these next few weeks?
I think a lot of teams are just going to play it straight, or they might just boot it out the back of the end zone and let their defense play. That's a game plan decision going forward, and I'm sure as we continue to progress throughout the preseason, we'll see some type of scheme on the kickoff and kickoff return. So I'm excited to see that stuff.
How will you manage the two kickers tonight in PAT and field goal situations? You've got a young guy in his second year who struggled last year. So many games are decided by the narrowest of margins. Right. How will you handle those two players?
It's easy to evaluate kickers. Like either you make the kick or you don't make the kick, and we'll see how they play tonight.
Gerard, finally, you've had your family on this journey with you as a player and as a coach. You have a family member, your brother, of course, who heads up the strength and conditioning staff. How meaningful is this night, taking the field as a head coach of the Patriots for the first time, thinking about the sacrifices your grandfather made, what your mother did, and where will your family be watching this game tonight?
Yeah, they're coming in town, and look, it's going to be exciting. I would also say, like some of my brothers, maybe not blood brothers, like a Hightower, like a Matt Slater. It's good to have all those guys around me, and I look forward to those guys really helping the team win.
This game doesn't count in the standings, but certainly looking forward to a milestone night for you. All the best.
I appreciate you.
All right, thanks, Bob, and thanks to Gerard Mayo for his time ahead of kickoff tonight. Obviously a meaningful night for him as he takes over as the Patriots head coach and will roam the sideline for the first time as the head man in charge. We will talk with Phil Perry. He will join us coming up on the other side on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
You know how old your roof is or if it has any missing shingles? Would you know if it's still under warranty or how many years it has left? An hour of your time can get you a free inspection, honest advice, and an exact price if your roof needs replacement. Choose Marshall, your local roofing, siding, and window people.
The joy of discovering new products is just as fun as watching them fly off the shelves. And Fair's online wholesale marketplace makes that excitement even easier. Stay ahead of the curve with the latest brands and products from around the world, all found in one easy place. Visit fair.com today. That's www.fair.com. www.faire.com.
What's that sound? That's the sound of Downy Unstoppable scent beads going into your washing machine and giving your clothes freshness that lasts all day long. There it is again. It's like music to your ears, or more like music to your nose. That freshness is irresistible. Let's get a Downy Unstoppables bottle shake. And now a sniff solo. Nice. Get 6 times longer lasting freshness plus odor protection with Downy Unstoppables in-wash scent beads.
What if your bank listened closely to you and then created banking products for doing business? Your business. The Clinton Commercial Banking Team at Clinton Savings Bank does exactly that. If you're in the commercial real estate business, Clinton Commercial can customize loan products to make real estate purchases easier, faster, to help your business succeed. Clinton Commercial Banking. The sound of doing business. Member FDIC, member DIF.
High five! Up top! Heck yeah!
Dave's company just got the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah, 5 years!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
High five for gig speed.
5 years of advanced security.
Security win.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Our rate ain't changing.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
There it is.
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Woohoo!
Now he's got savings.
I'm so excited.
Yep. Dave's feeling it, but it's only for a limited time, so don't wait. Switch today and ask how to get the first ever 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
Ends 8/21/24. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Patriot Place has it all for you to make the most of summer with family and friends. Shopping, dining, and entertainment for everyone. Bowl a strike at luxury lanes. Hit a bullseye throwing axes. Paint a masterpiece. Enjoy live performances by the hottest entertainers. And you've never experienced an adventure like this. Red Door Escape Room is now open. Don't forget to download the Patriot Place app for special entertainment offers and to earn rewards every time you visit. Patriot Place. Shop, dine, enjoy.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change, the best defender in the game against engine wear, provides 15-minute drive-through oil changes and touchless service for busy people. Go to newenglandoilchange.com to save 15% on your entire invoice for your drive-through oil change. Print out the coupon or pull it up on your mobile device. Go to newenglandoilchange.com.
Football season means it's Peerless Boiler season. Now is the perfect time to replace your old boiler and water heater with the new Peerless Boiler and Pavilion Tankless Water Heater. Don't wait. Act now. Go to peerlessboilers.com for a dealer near you. Remember, Peerless Boilers, the world's best-built boilers.
The home of the Revs, the Sports Hub.
Welcome back to Patriots Preview, driven by the all-electric Honda Prologue. Mark Bertrand, Chris Gasper, and now Phil Perry with us on the program ahead of this preseason game between the Patriots and Panthers that will kick off in just about a half hour. Phil, good evening.
Boys, good evening. How are you?
Welcome to the broadcast booth, my friend.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here. I get to finally sit in Scott Zolak's seat. It's been like a dream of mine for years now. I'm just hoping I can do the job justice, boys.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to it. What's going to be at the top of your list of things you're looking for in this game?
I think I'm going to be locked in on the offensive line. I'm curious to see who's going to play. I'm curious to see how well they play. Because even if it's Vidarian Lowe and Calvin Anderson out there, guys, I think there's a decent chance that one of those two ends up being a starting tackle for you in 2024.
Do you think Vidarian Lowe can be their starting left tackle in 2024?
I'm not ruling it out, Mark. I will tell you this. Over the course of the last half dozen practices or so, he might not only be like just by default up at the top of the depth chart, which is true, but he also might be their best tackle based on the last half dozen practices. I've seen him perform pretty well in the one-on-ones. He has not, in my opinion, been an issue in the 11-on-11 stuff, but he's Vidarian Lowe. So if that's not a statement on the state of the Patriots offensive line, I don't know what is. So I do want to see how those guys play, even if it's against second and third stringers for Carolina. I'm even interested in some of the interior guys. Like, if you want to get the tackle position solved with Mike Onwenu, does then Michael Jordan have to be a starting caliber NFL guard for you so that you can move Onwenu from guard back out to tackle? So those are guys that I'm going to be watching today, because I think this offensive line has the potential to really submarine their season before it even gets started. And nobody's got high expectations for how many games for this team competing for a playoff spot or anything of that nature. But you would like to see a good, competent product. And what we've seen on the training camp fields behind Gillette Stadium this summer has not been competent enough, in my opinion, along the offensive line, outside of guys like Andrews and Onwenu, who are known commodities.
So, Phil, when you look at that, we know that Carolina's not playing a lot of guys tonight. How does that change your evaluation, I guess, of the offensive line, and whether you feel guys are making progress, or that guys are establishing themselves, or that the solutions are on the roster right now?
Boy, I don't know if all the solutions are on the roster. My guess is, as they just did, they just signed a street free agent to play tackle, and he was Drake May's left tackle in practice for an entire couple of practices that we saw. Kellen Diesch about 24 and 48 hours after he signed. So that's just where they are right now. They're going to be on the lookout for more help there. Unfortunately for them, Chris, given who Carolina is running out, I'm not sure you could come away with much that's overly positive. I think you could just stay neutral or become even more panicked about the situation. If guys that you're thinking have a chance to start on this offensive line have a hard time with backups for Carolina, what does that say? It could be a dire situation. If they hold their ground and they hold their own, and Jacoby Brissett and Drake May are able to sit back in a clean pocket and make a few throws tonight, that to me would be a step in the right direction.
Can we take anything meaningful away from a performance by Drake May in this game?
Sure. I think you could. I think the fact that this is now live, it's an obvious statement, but this changes things, especially for a quarterback like him. What they have been trying to do in practice, it's clear to me, is they have been trying to get him to sit in the pocket and play quarterback. And that's not to be demeaning to Drake May and what he would like to do, but I think it is his instinct to break the pocket when he sees pressure, rely on his legs, roll out of the pocket, if not to scramble to run and pick up yardage, to scramble to throw. I think that's just in his nature. I think that's who he is. I think that's part of the reason you drafted him at number 3 overall, is because he showed you that he has the physical ability to do those kinds of things. But we haven't seen that much of it in camp because the coaching staff wants him to learn to play quarterback at the professional level. Take snaps from under center, get guys in and out of the huddle, sit in the pocket, and run this timing and rhythm obsessed offensive scheme that Alex Van Pelt likes to run. You should be able to close your eyes, according to some of these West Coast guys, and understand that when you hit your back foot on a 5-step drop and you take one hitch up, you should understand that that's going to mesh perfectly with the guy who's running a 10-yard hitch to your left, and you should be able to step up and make that throw. And the timing is all with your feet. You're basically making your reads with your feet. He has a long way to go in that regard, and so they're really trying to work hard with him there. But now it's live, and now the threat of physical harm is out there. And so I would like to see him get out and make a few plays with his legs and be the playmaker that we know he can be. I think that would be exciting. And again, not to keep beating a dead horse here, but given the state of the offensive line, my guess is he's going to be on the move quite a bit if he's even asked to drop back to pass all that frequently.
So, Chris, not to jump you here, but I was just going to ask, based on what you're saying, Phil, are Drake May and Alex Van Pelt a good match for one another?
I think they can be, because I've spoken to West Coast people who say, oh, no. There is room for playmaking at the quarterback position in this offense. You know, even think Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, when he was at his best, he had that ability to roll out, and they weren't designed rollouts all the time. It was, oh, we have an unblocked rusher here. I have to be able to get out and make a play, use my athleticism, throw on the run, and boy, look at all the arm talent I have. Like, you know, he's coming from West Coast systems. He played under Mike McCarthy forever. Both Alex Van Pelt and Ben McAdoo are Mike McCarthy disciples, former Mike McCarthy assistants. And so they live by a lot of the same rules offensively. So I understand what you're saying, Beetle. I think right now with Drake May, they are trying to get him to understand the rules of the scheme, and they're trying to be strict with him in that regard because I think they need to. He's a wild stallion who needs to be tamed. I think that's how they're sort of approaching it. But once you understand the rules, then you can start to play outside them. I think in that way, he will eventually actually be a really nice fit for this offense because they do ask you to move the pocket occasionally, and they do ask you to boot, and they do ask you to turn your back to the defense, and you do have to be an athlete to do those kinds of things. So he obviously has the physical skill set to do all that stuff.
Phil, what is your assessment sort of the Brandon Ayuk situation? And do you feel like at this point, this new regime of Gerard Mayo and Elliott Wolf has a realistic view on how they're viewed by the rest of the NFL and what it's going to take to upgrade the team and bring in major talents like Ridley and Ayuk? And I preface that with the idea that this is a team that has re-signed or re-upped, or extended 12 guys from last year's team. So, obviously they feel some kind of way about the team, and it's positive, and it doesn't seem like maybe other people in the NFL are looking at the roster and seeing what they're seeing.
Yeah, and listen, I don't know all the details on the contract that they offered Brandon Ayuk. I've heard some of the same things that a lot of people have already reported, 30-plus million average value per year. And, like I've heard Valgrim Mass talk about it on the radio quite a bit. Guaranteed money, that matters more. And I don't know what the figure is there. And so I'm sort of reserving judgment in terms of the kind of contract that they offered to try to get the guy. But I think they're telling you how they feel about their roster in pursuing the players that they're pursuing. They understand they still need playmakers. They understand they need linemen. So I don't think they are blind to what kind of team they are. If anything, I feel like there are times where Gerard Mayo is trying to manage expectations with us when we're talking to him in the media in some of these question and answer periods. He has been very open. He doesn't know how this thing is going to go. So I don't think there's much in the way of hubris there, if that's sort of what you're getting at, Chris, in terms of how they see the organization and guys should want to come here and why don't they want to come here. I don't think they view it that way at all. I think they understand this is a roster that is really lacking. and they're trying to pursue a variety of different avenues to improve it.
Got it. Phil, looking forward to your call tonight with Bob Sosi.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Have
we'll
fun,
have some fun.
Phil.
Thanks.
We'll wrap things up here on Patriots Preview next on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
At Cox Mobile, reliability and savings go hand in hand, kind of like a cold drink on a hot summer day. With us, you'll run on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and pay as low as $30 per line for Cox Internet customers. So you get both savings and reliability. Ah, that'll quench your thirst. Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Enrollment in paperless billing and Cox Easy Pay. Max of 5 lines. 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in U.S. 2H 2023. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by home improvement projects? At Marshall Building and Remodeling, we want to get you the information you need without feeling pressured. We have a complete customer care team and thousands of reviews, so you know you're in good hands. Choose Marshall. We protect what's inside by caring for what's outside.
Pioneer brand Z-Series soybeans are bred to defy expectations, so it's no surprise they're getting rave reviews, and that has more than farmers talking. In fact, a grain elevator wrote, "Sweet mother of pearl, trailer after trailer of Z-Series. It's never ending. We need a break." Safe to say, everyone is feeling the impact of Z-Series soybeans. Unleash your greatest harvest yet at pioneer.com/greatest yields.
At UMass Memorial Health, you can be a
nurse, mental health clinician, medical assistant,
but you can also be a
after-hours musician,
family chef,
t-ball coach.
That's because we hire you, all of you, and treat you like a person, not a position, with great pay and excellent benefits like retirement savings plans and tuition assistance. Come be you at UMass Memorial Health. Explore all we offer at wehireyou.org.
One of our Sports Hub.
How you doing? I'm Mike from Southern New Hampshire, 54 years old. I had tennis elbow that was driving me crazy. I love bow hunting. I couldn't hunt. I couldn't hold my bow back because of the pain. And because of Dr. Frankie's prolotherapy, I do that now. I can do all of those things. And all of the restrictions have been lifted. Boston Prolotherapy, Dr. Frankie, I would recommend them to anybody. Prolotherapy has taken a 54-year-old man who felt like a 70-year-old feel again like a 35-year-old. So for me to be able to do everything that I could do before without the pain, that's priceless.
Thanks, Mike. And it's Felger here. Don't let joint pain prevent you from enjoying the activities you love. Call Boston Prolotherapy and eliminate your pain without surgery. Call 833-GO-PROLO or visit them online at bostonprolotherapy.com.
The only place to hear the game, the Sports Hub.
Welcome back to Patriots Preview. Rain continues to fall here in Foxborough, where it is currently 65 degrees. It has certainly cooled off here. Winds at, anywhere from 0 to 5 or even 8 miles per hour, some gusts, but really not much wind right now. The flags on top of the goalposts are dead right now. But it's really about the rain. It's been raining here pretty steadily for the last couple of hours now, Chris, and it is going to be a wet track that these two teams are out there playing on tonight at Gillette Stadium. I think we could be dealing with showers for, off and on maybe all night. So this is something to think about as well when it comes time to figuring out who's going to play and who's going to not play in this game tonight. The risk of injury is real.
Yeah, and it could also affect execution and ball handling and those things. Obviously there'll be some nerves anyway, and it's the first time in a game situation. Practice is practice. Games are obviously different. So throwing on top of that some adverse weather conditions, some sloppy weather conditions, could make it challenging to execute for the Patriots offensively, at least in the beginning.
All right, final thoughts from you, Chris. What are you looking for?
Yeah, I think that I'm looking to see how Drake May looks and really what kind of plays they call for him. Are they passing plays? Is it play action stuff? Are they looking to get the ball out of his hands quickly? Are they letting him go through the progressions? Are they just trying to keep him safe and make sure he gets out of there feeling good about himself? Or do they actually want to see what it looks like when it's sort of live fire?
All right, well, stay tuned. Bob and Phil have the call of the game from the DraftKings broadcast booth. DraftKings Sportsbook, the official sports betting partner of the New England Patriots. Patriots preview has been driven by the all-electric Honda Prologue. Contact your local New England Honda dealer to learn more or shop online at newengland.hondadealers.com. It's the Patriots and Panthers from Gillette Stadium tonight. It's preseason game number 1, and it's coming your way next on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
This has been Patriots Preview, driven by the all-electric Honda Prologue.
Hey, let's make a play. Let's make a play.
Also brought to you by Safety Insurance, Mass General Cancer Center, your local New England Honda dealers, Catches Law, Credit Union's Kids at Heart, Apex Entertainment Center, Dig Safe, Wendy's, 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric, and Drains, Delta Airlines, and by Bud Light.
Hey, set the tone. Set the tone.
By Valvoline Instant Oil Change, Clinton Savings Bank, VA New England, United Ag and Turf, Peerless Spoilers, your New England Ford dealers, Eastern Propane and Oil, Town Fair Tire, and by Comcast Business.
Finish! Finish! Run!
By Bigelow Tea, United Construction and Forestry, Drains by James, Live Nation, UMass Lowell, your New England Chevy dealers, Reed's Ferry Storage Sheds, Roach Brothers, Dairy Queen, and by the Peterson School.
Yeah! There we go! There we go, fellas!
The kickoff is next on the Safety Insurance 98.5 The Sports Hub Patriots Radio Network.
Our daughter Jessie loves playing detective.
A clue.
But since we discovered she has sensitive skin, we've been playing detective too.
We thought the problem was our puppy.
But it was actually our old detergent.
Aha.
So we switched to Tide Free and Gentle. Tide cleans better than the leading competitive free detergent, and it doesn't leave behind irritating residues.
Plus, Tide Free and Gentle has no dyes or perfumes, so it's gentle on her skin.
Case closed.
If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Free and Gentle.
The games play here.
Here's Nieto. He'll scramble in, feet to the high slot. Carlson sent it out in front. Nieto a shot, and that tip denied by Omar, who scrambled left to right. Bruins crash to the front, left to the net. Coyle out in front. Gets Gibson out of position. He scores! Charlie Coyle with a dangle. Sneaks it inside the near post with Gibson down and out. Bruins 7, Ducks 1.
You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub. Stay tuned for more.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler? Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Complete your fleet at United Construction and Forestry. With 14 locations in New England, United Construction and Forestry has any John Deere compact construction equipment you need. It's equipment that delivers more at the job site, the farm, or yard work. Choose from the John Deere compact construction lineup of small, mid, and large frame skid steers, compact track loaders, to a full array of compact excavators. United always delivers more with exceptional parts and service. See their full lineup of John Deere compact construction equipment at unitedequip.com. Together, we're united.
Installing a mailbox, planting a tree, or planning other yard work? Don't dig yourself into trouble. Click digsafe.com or call 811 first to prevent damage to buried utility lines. It's smart, it's free, it's the law. Click digsafe.com or call 811.
Drive into summer with the rugged Honda Ridgeline, Passport, and Pilot. Get outdoors and kick up some dust with Honda, the 2024 Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Value brand. For a limited time, well-qualified buyers can get a 1.9% APR on a 2024 Ridgeline and a 2.9% APR on a 2024 Passport and 2025 Pilot.
See dealer for financing details based on 2024 Consumer Choice Awards from Kelley Blue Book. Visit kbb.com for more information.
Felger and Maz, afternoons 2 to 6 on the Sports Hub.
3rd down and 11. Direct snap to Edwards. Back to throw. Has time. Looks. Fires. Broken up at the 25-yard line by Gerard Mayo.
Gerard Mayo, an every down player. Well, I'll tell you what time he puts into a football game, it's all 60 minutes.
16 years after bursting into the NFL as a first-round draft choice bound to become Defensive Rookie of the Year, Gerard Mayo was about to experience his first 60 minutes of game time as Patriots head coach. And while tonight begins a new era along the Pats sideline, it also marks the Gillette Stadium debut for another #1 pick. Consider the franchise's future behind center.
Drake May.
I'm just trying to worry about myself and worry about what I control. Looking forward to getting in there in a preseason game, and right now practice, trying to take advantage of the reps that I do get, and try to make most of them.
Mayo and May, rookie coach and rookie quarterback. The Patriots and the Carolina Panthers coming up next in the 2024 preseason opener.
This is Patriots football.
Set to go. Snap, ball down. Kick up. Kick is on the way, and it is good. It's good. It's good. Adam Vinatieri booms a 48-yard field goal, and the game is over. And the Patriots are Super Bowl champions.
The Patriots are brought to you by Safety Insurance, Mass General Cancer Center, your local New England Honda dealers, Catches Law, Credit Union's Kids at Heart, Apex Entertainment Center, Dig Safe, Wendy's, 128 Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric, and Drains, Delta Airlines, and by Bud Light.
Wilson, quick throw. Intercepted by Malcolm Butler with 20 seconds to go in Super Bowl 49.
By Valvoline Instant Oil Change, Clinton Savings Bank, VA New England, United Ag and Turf, Peerless Boilers, your New England Ford dealers, Eastern Propane and Oil, Town Fair Tire, and by Comcast Business.
Driving forward, diving to the goal line. A touchdown and a title for the Patriots.
I can't believe it.
They have completed the greatest comeback in Super Bowl history.
By Bigelow Tea, United Construction and Forestry, Drains by James, Live Nation, UMass Lowell, your New England Chevy dealers, Reed's Ferry Storage Sheds, Roach Brothers, Dairy Queen, and by the Peterson School.
And the Patriots are world champions again. 24-21, back-to-back world championships, 3 out of 4. Yes, it's a dynasty.
And the Patriots have won their 6th Super Bowl title. Yes, it's still a dynasty.
Now, here's Bob Sosi and Phil Perry.
And hello again, everyone. A very pleasant good evening and welcome to Foxborough's Gillette Stadium for the 2024 preseason opener between the New England Patriots and the Carolina Panthers. It is great to have you with us as the Patriots begin a new era with head coach Jerod Mayo, of course, succeeding the man he played for, Bill Belichick, who'd been here for the last 24 years, leading the Patriots to those 6 Super Bowl championships and the 2-decade-long dynasty. Of course, a new era for the Patriots as well, with the drafting of Drake May, the rookie quarterback from North Carolina, 3rd overall. We'll see him tonight in his Gillette Stadium debut. And at least for a couple of games, a new era in this radio booth as we welcome in Phil Perry as Scott Zolak tonight slides over next door to join the McCourtys, Brian Hoyer, and Paul Perillo on TV. Great to have you here, Phil. Great to be watching football again tonight, albeit the preseason variety.
Thank you so much for that warm welcome, Bob. I am absolutely just so psyched to be here in the booth with you tonight and to be watching some football. As you said, there's so much for us to talk about, so much for us to pay attention to. How does Jerod Mayo handle his first game as head coach on the sidelines? What does Drake May look like? How much does Drake May play? I think that's going to be a really interesting story to follow here tonight because we have seen in training camp practices, you and I both, the offensive line looks like it's still needing some time to come together. So how much do you want to run out your young quarterback, number 3 overall pick, behind a group like that? There's a lot here for us to track. Some really exciting players at receiver, on the defensive side as well. So we're going to have some fun here tonight, Bob.
I think a lot of mystery surrounding the offensive line in particular. There's the curiosity about the quarterback. And in 2 weeks of training camp, there's been adversity. The loss of Christian Barmore because of the diagnosis of blood clots, one of the most talented young players on this football team, out for the foreseeable future. And then, of course, there's been controversy. What are your thoughts about the way Jerod Mayo has managed this football team to get them to this point through all of that?
I love what Jerod Mayo told us the other day in one of the press conferences when he said he spoke to his mom soon after the Matthew Judon ordeal out at practice, where he's on the practice field. It looked like Mayo asked him to leave. He ends up coming back, talking to Matt Groh and Elliott Wolf. And Mayo's mom says, "So you wanted to be a head coach, huh?" What a start for him, but I thought, Bob, that he handled that situation well. It looked like he wanted to get a hold of how that was going to play out. He made his opinion and his needs and his standards known. And now Matthew Judon, although he has been limited in recent practices, and I'm not expecting him to play here tonight, he has been back on the practice field since then. So they still haven't given him the new deal. They have figured out a way to get him back on the field. That is a very difficult needle to thread. And I feel like he's done a pretty good job of that, while also, Bob, being a little bit less of a player's coach than I think many of us anticipated he would be coming into the summer.
Yeah, I think he bristled at the thought of being a player's coach. He's been very public about that. I think he's trying to blend what he knows works well from his time as a player and a coach with his own philosophy and his own way of doing things. As he has said, you have to show players you care about them before you can lead them. And tonight, we're going to see him lead this football team into a matchup with the Carolina Panthers. Two teams, similar states. Two teams coming off abysmal offensive seasons. Between them last year, only 6 wins. New head coaches trying to establish their cultures. What do you expect to see? You said we're not going to see Judon. What do you expect to see tonight from the Patriots trying to establish the kind of football team they want to be?
Well, I think he started on the practice field trying to establish his culture by having them practice in the heat, having them practice quite a bit and full.
I don't think many dudes that are heterosexual
right.
go into strip clubs where men are.
Yeah,
you
but
know what I'm
also
saying?
women look at other women differently than dudes look at other dudes, right? A woman can look at an attractive woman and be like, oh my gosh, she's beautiful, and compliment her and do all these things. I'm not looking at you and be like, hey man, your eyebrow look really cool today, man. I mean, I like what you're doing with your hair.
Nah,
your fade, you got a nice little fade on you,
yeah,
man.
I'm
so
sorry.
I'm not doing that. Just genetically and just metaphysically, women are different than men. Women can go enjoy something that's beautiful.
So your wife's is cool with you.
Well, look, we have a type of relationship where we talk about everything. We're open, we're honest. We've been together 21 years, man. Like this, you don't get here having secrets. So
my wife would not be cool with me going.
Then you didn't go then.
I don't go anyway. I mean, I wouldn't, whether I was married or not, I'm not going anyway. But she would, and I wouldn't be cool with her going to
because you didn't do it before. Like now, if you never went and then all of a sudden you got married, now you got to go. That's a problem. That's something's up, right? You have to address the problem, not the action. You get what I'm saying? I used to like to partake in those establishments before I got married. I wasn't going in there looking for a wife or looking to hook up with somebody. That's not what I was going. I wasn't going in there to date, right? I was going in there to be entertained. And so she was like, look, you like to do that before me. I'm not going to tell you can't do, like, as long as everything's above board, then
we started off with a shop talk. Because Rob G.
Ain't nothing wrong with that.
I'm guessing your wife ain't down with that. Like you
Yeah, that can be an affirmative, Chris.
Yeah, see, but let me ask you this.
And I went to strip clubs back in the day, like before I was,
Had she ever gone to a strip club before?
I doubt it.
That's not even the question. Have you even asked her that?
No, but here's why, and I have never asked her. But here's why I would say she hasn't. Actually, when I met her, she was already a born-again Christian.
Oh,
so
you missed out on anything.
Whole different lifestyle. But my point, I would say, and you know this, I bet you know this, Ephraim. Like, I mean, we started dating in the 80s. And she wasn't, you know what I'm saying? I don't think women were really going
No, not like that. Not in the 80s. It wasn't even a whole bunch of them. I mean,
So it was a different thing. But yeah, let's get into it. And we got the Odd Couple crew, the super producer Rob G, DJ Alex Teichert. Is that Steve DeSager on the
You
update?
already know.
And Elijah Sabunia on the social media. All right, you saw it. I gotta be honest. I was on the air. First things first was on. We had the unfortunate situation of being on across from the big game between United States and Serbia in basketball. So I had the game on my phone, so I was looking at it during breaks, but I couldn't watch it closely. But
so you weren't
I knew what was going on. I just didn't see all the,
Is the first thing first, is that your TV show that you shoot out of LA? I mean, out of New York?
In New York, yeah.
You're on Fox Sports 1?
Yes.
That's the TV show, right?
Yes.
Okay, you know I do TV. I just want to throw that out there again.
I'm working.
We done did a whole summer. We did a whole summer. Not one time were you like, hey, E, I'm going out of town. Come fill in. Not one time.
I wish it was my call, but
I mean, it's your show. It's your
I'm one
show.
Of three. But
yeah, it's your show.
You got my word. I'm gonna push.
I've been waiting on that word for 4 years, man. it's all good.
But what I looking at the box score, and I like I said, I saw the final. What was happening in the final minutes during the break. I know we went to break. We went back on the air. U.S. was down 86-84. I looked at my phone again, and we were up 91.
Okay, so you don't know what's going on. You just throwing stuff out there. So throw me the question, man. I watched the whole thing.
Well, here's the question. Because I'm looking at, I know Steph went off with 36 points.
Mm-hmm.
I know LeBron had a triple-double with 16, 12, and 10. And Embiid was great, but I'm not focused on Embiid. Durant was good down the stretch with 9 points. The old heads led the way. And also, and Rob G has the plus minuses, but they were the leaders in plus minus, right? And the young guys, Devin Booker, Bam Adebayo, Anthony Davis, weren't they negatives, Rob G?
It was Edwards, Adebayo, Derek White were the leaders in the negative. Steph Curry, in a game that was nip and tuck, they're actually down most of the game, ended up having a plus minus of plus 20 in the time that he was out there.
So my point, Ephraim, is it looks like, and you saw it closer than me, the importance of basketball IQ. Because that's what LeBron, Steph, and KD have over Anthony Edwards. You know what I mean? The younger guys who are more athletic at this point. What I think that was a huge factor. And on the other side, I mean, obviously, Jokic has as high a basketball IQ as anybody in the world. And he took a team of another 2 NBA players and some minor leaguers, I'm going to call them that, and they almost beat Team USA. So I think it shows just the importance of basketball IQ.
This is what I took from it. And you're right, basketball IQ is paramount. I'm coaching my 10-year-old son. I coach his 9-10 team, and then he plays up 11-12. I coach both teams. And I don't, like most coaches at this age, are hyper-focused on skill set. You got to dribble, you got to come off the pick, and you got to take a step back, and you got to shoot. I'm focusing on raising my athletes' basketball IQ, right? If I call a play and something's not available, I need you to understand it's not available and to go somewhere else with the ball, right? Don't be a robot and just pass it to an area that's not available, because that's where it goes when we practice. That's where we go. That's where it's supposed to go, right? Sometimes most professional sports are off script, right? That's why Kelsey and Mahomes are so great. It don't even look like Travis Kelsey is running routes. He's literally just he open, right? So it's all about
He ain't running a lot of routes.
Right. He'll find the soft spot, sit down, get open, make something happen. So it's about being able to understand a situation and adjust to it. So when you have people like Steph, you have people like LeBron, you have people like Kevin Durant, right? Their basketball IQ extremely high. They've been in every type of situation you can possibly be in at the highest level. Not only in the Olympics, but in World Championship basketball, or the whole NBA Finals, the whole 9 yards. League MVPs, they've done it all, been it all. So they're prepared for all situations. When you look at the Anthony Edwards and even the Bam Adebayo, even though he's been to the finals, and
he don't have it like those.
Because you get it with time.
And I don't even think some people just have it. I mean, Golden State plays a very intelligent type of basketball, right?
Yes.
LeBron just has it.
He came into the league with it, yes.
Yeah, and Durant is just a guy that can fit in with any system, particularly when you've got great players around him. And so I don't think Bam will ever get it like those guys.
No,
that's not at that level. On him, it's just different styles of playing.
And what you saw in that game was everybody on Serbia has it. Everybody on
that's how they grow up playing.
Everybody on the Serbia national team has an IQ level comparable to the Joker.
Because that's the only way they could compete.
That's how it goes, right? Yep. So if you double and if you flash and you don't get back, they're going to exploit it immediately. Yep. And from the beginning of the game, that's exactly what they did. The U.S. came out. They were a little bit slow on their defensive rotation, and it wide open threes. They're not going to hesitate. They're not going to overpass. And as for what's going on with the U.S. team, it was interesting because after the game, Steph had made a comment, and I knew exactly what he was talking about. He was like, look, we got all the talent in the world. I'm paraphrasing here. Right. We got all the talent in the world, but sometimes we can overpass, right?
Did you see that? Do you feel like 100%?
Because you can get the ball in a normal NBA game because you're the guy. Everybody on that team is the guy on their team, except for Derek White. But if you get the ball and you're open, you're going to take the shot. But what happens is you look and you're like, oh, man, that's KD over there. On to the left, oh, that's LeBron over there. And then you got Steph cutting through the paint. It's like, oh, I'm not going to shoot this one. Right. So that mindset causes you to be a step slower, right? Turnovers were extremely high, and Serbia took advantage of the turnovers. But just that little thing, right? That minute thing of an all-star, they're all all-stars, of an all-star not taking advantage of something he sees because in his mind, there's a better option over there. That's the thing. Serbia, they're free. They're running the offense through the Joker. Go ahead.
And I want to ask you. Well, I want to talk more about Steph, KD, and LeBron in the next segment. But quickly, I want to ask you, because it sounds like you're giving an explanation, which makes sense, and I agree with, as to why this game was close. Like, it was actually, we almost lost. Are you bothered by us being so close in this game to losing, or do you look at it like almost like an NCAA tournament game where you see great teams have a nail biter with a team that's less than them, and sometimes that will happen in a one and done situation?
No, I'm bothered.
Or are you bothered? Okay,
no, I'm
you are bothered.
I'm bothered because when you look at the collective talent we have on our team, we have all the answers. This game is why Joel Embiid is actually on the team. Right?
Yeah,
because in the NBA,
which he tends to do against Jokic,
that is why he's here. If he's not on the team today, they have the advantage on the inside. That's why Joel, and so all this, Joel Embiid doing this, and he came out and played an MVP level game. He kept us in it, but because he can go at Nikola Jokic. He can go at him. It's a difficult guard and cover for Nikola Jokic. So that's literally why he's here. He showed up and showed out when he had to. But yeah, I'm upset because I don't want these close games. We collectively have better talent.
I do want I got exactly what I wanted today.
Oh, no, you didn't. You weren't watching.
Drama-filled games,
See,
but I want us to win.
Yeah, but you came.
Which you can't always say.
Right, but you watched when they were down 12 and came back and they were up 5. So you were like, oh, okay. So you didn't have to live in the moment.
Because I couldn't watch every moment like that. But I was seeing, we down 13. In fact, my co-host said when we were down 13, I think, with
going
about
into the fourth.
5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Yeah, but going into the fourth, we were down 14.
Right, I know. But I'm saying at that point, they were like, it's panic time. I was like, no, it's not. We got plenty of time. It's plenty of time left. And it wasn't. Now, going into the fourth, that's a different story. All right, I want to ask you a big thing about the big three in this game for America. Durant slipping in for Embiid in that conversation. That'll be next. Keep it locked. It's the Odd Couple. Chris and Ephraim Salam, Fox Sports Radio. All right, job searching can be a lonely process. Lonely. Endless searching, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish. Poof. It's time for a better way to find a job. Express Employment Professional is the local jobs expert you can trust, and they never charge a fee to help with your job search. Go to expresspros.com to find the office near you. Here's how it works. Each year, tens of thousands of job seekers find work with the help of Express Employment Professionals. And Express helps people find all kinds of jobs, from manufacturing to logistics to customer service to accounting and more. Getting an interview with Express can be as easy as a phone call. And with just one application with Express Employment Professionals, you're in the running for numerous opportunities in your community. Make your job search easier by letting the professionals at Express be your talent agent to find you the right spot on a great team. Express Employment Professionals is your one connection for getting a job. Visit expresspros.com today.
The versatility of this United States lineup. Anybody can start a break. Anybody can end it.
The U.S. men's basketball team is taking over Paris.
Come on, y'all ready?
And with a whole country watching. Well, no pressure, guys.
American man.
For U.S. men's basketball news and updates, keep it right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free. with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Want the best?
We're waiting.
A straight shooter.
That's the kind of guy that I am.
2 words. Doug Gottlieb.
Yo, let me grab this mic right here one time.
Better yet, Coach Gottlieb.
Now you got it.
Admit it. Your afternoons just got better.
Dude, you get everybody in, you look them in the eye and go, let's go. You know who I am. Like, do you understand the value in that?
It's the Doug Gottlieb Show. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Ladies and gentlemen.
You must have been busy. But The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker. We're breaking this down.
Lamar Jackson has dropped a lot of weight. After gaining weight the past couple of years, he is noticeably thinner. And I think he's going to be noticeably faster. And he hasn't come out explicitly and said this, like this is why he's done it. But I think he's done this to get back the speed he used to have. I think he knows he couldn't run away from guys the way he used to. And I think in that AFC title game, and I'm not going to focus on that one play, the 21-yard run where he couldn't run away from Snead, didn't even really try, kept looking back, I just think that in that game overall, he was intent on proving he could stay in the pocket, be a pocket passer. And now, after the way they were beaten, I think he understands now, look, I'm just going to do me. And part of me is being the most elusive quarterback in the history of the league. And I'm still going to do my pocket thing. I'm still going to throw it a lot. I've improved a great deal in that area, and we're going to utilize Zay Flowers and the rest of our receivers. But with Derrick Henry and him, opposing defenses, you have to worry about Derrick Henry, and you also have to worry about Lamar Jackson running the football. That's...
To get the rest of what The Odd Couple said, podcast it by searching Odd Couple. And as always, you can listen to The Odd Couple with Chris Broussard and Rob Parker weekdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, 4 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Are y'all ready to have some fun?
On the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
I'm just going to say it because it's going to seem weird.
You'll get this.
I'm not saying the guy's overrated.
And some of this.
Oh. Like death, pettiness knows no tax bracket.
Whoa, hey now. And on occasion,
4, 2, 1.
What's our disaster scenario early on in the season?
That.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
It's the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific. On Fox Sports Radio.
Who the wants smoke?
The people have spoken, and they love our lineup.
We're the best!
Colin Cowherd, Dan Patrick, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox, Doug Gottlieb, Ben Maller.
Listen to these names.
Rob Parker, Chris Broussard, Covino and Rich, Jason Smith, and Mike Harmon.
Boom!
We're always on, from the mornings to the late nights. We are Fox Sports Radio, the premier sports lineup in the nation.
B-E-S-T.
FS1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1. S1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
Baby, if you've ever wondered.
All right. It is the Odd Couple. Chris Broussard, Ephraim Salams, in for Rob Parker. We're live from the TireRack.com studios. Our thanks to Rapid Radios, the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies that offer national LTE coverage. No subscription or monthly fees ever. It's a great alternative to a mobile phone for your kids. So we use them here at the show. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping. Here's what I want to ask you, Ephraim. And maybe if you want to limit it to LeBron, fine. I think LeBron has been, and I think it's fairly clear, that he has been the best player on Team USA. Today, obviously, Steph saved him. But overall, LeBron has been the best player. And I want to ask you, KD's had his moments. And Embiid isn't even technically American. I mean, I think now he's a citizen. But, so of the American players in the NBA, do you think it's fair to say that LeBron is the best American player in the NBA? Or even that LeBron, Steph, and KD are still the three best American players in the NBA?
I think it's extremely fair to say that. I don't think there's any slight there in anybody who's watched these games, including the friendlies, the exhibition games. You would automatically, if you didn't know anything about basketball, if you hadn't watched Team USA or the NBA and you came and you've watched it from the friendlies all the way up until now, and you just were there sitting in the stands, and I came up to you and said, who do you think is the leader of that team? Who do you think is the best on that team? You 99% of the time would say LeBron James.
Right. Agreed.
You just would, because of his command of the floor, the respect that he's given, not only by his teammates, but by the opponents. So when you can walk in with that level of respect, and then conduct yourself in a way where everybody can see, I mean, the triple, Steph went crazy with 36, the triple-double, right? The defensive effort, which we don't get to see from LeBron a lot during the NBA season because of the wear and tear, right? He's 40 years old.
That's where I'm going to push back a little.
Okay.
I do think LeBron's been the best player on Team USA right now. But I don't think he and then Steph and KD, I don't think they're the three best American players in the NBA.
No,
over the course of an 82 game, I don't even mean talent. I just mean over the course of an 82 game season plus playoffs, LeBron can't give this level of defensive effort.
Well, no, one at 40 can.
Right, but my point is you know this, when you were older and you weren't the same player you used to be, you still could have your moments and your game.
Oh, yeah.
You could still have a game where you could turn back the clock and be as good as you were.
Sometimes you got to pop out and show people.
Right? But you couldn't do it for 16 straight games or 13 of the 16 games.
I couldn't do it in training camp. From year 9 on, really 8 on, in my contract, I only did one a days. I only did one a days. It was no 2 a days for me anymore. So I'll give you everything I got on in the morning practice, then I would take the afternoon to recover, do some body maintenance, that type of stuff. So yeah, as you get older.
So that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely.
LeBron, this is perfect for him.
Oh, this is
it's 6 games, maybe 10, like you said, if you count friendlies. You're only playing 25 minutes. Today play more, but in general, you're playing about 25 minutes. You got great teammates around you. You don't have to overextend yourself. You can really get after defensively because there's so few games, and you get a little spacing in between the games. You don't lose the leads when you go to the bench. So that's why I would say in this, LeBron's been the best. But over the course of an 82-game season, he's no longer the best player in the world. Because if he was, Ephraim, then he and the Lakers would be better.
You're right.
Because he got
you're
Anthony
right.
Davis. You know what I'm saying?
You're right. And look, that's no slight on him.
No, not at all.
The fact that he's playing at this way at 39 years old, about to be 40, being able to lead a team of young and older all-stars in the world games, and is the catalyst to the victories.
Right.
Right. They're 5-0 because of LeBron James, not despite him, but because of him.
He's phenomenal in these. We're going to continue this. We got to get to the update, but we'll continue this around the corner.
I don't want to step on Steve's toes. I don't want to do that.
Steve DeSager with the update.
Mad.
Steve.
That was a thrilling game at the Olympics today in Paris, with the U.S. men coming back to beat Serbia in a semifinal 95-91, advancing to Saturday's gold medal game against host France, which won a narrow game in its semi over Germany 73-69. The Americans were led by Steph Curry, who had 36 points, 36 when his team did not even score 100 today. Three-point range, he was 9 of 14. Serbia from three-point range was 15 for 30 after the first three quarters. Serbia in the fourth quarter, 0 of 9 from long distance, and the U.S. came back. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles, breaking her own world record again. She's lowered her mark 6 times now. Anna Cockrell of the U.S. won the silver. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final after testing positive for COVID this week. Kenny Bednarik of the U.S. won the silver. Americans finished 1-2 in the 110 hurdles. Grant Holloway gold, Daniel Roberts silver. The U.S. won gold in the women's long jump. Tara Davis Woodhull. U.S. women's volleyball won its semifinal in 5 sets over Brazil in a rematch of the Olympic final in Tokyo, which the U.S. won. Sunday's final in Paris will have the U.S. women against Italy, and Morocco took the men's soccer bronze medal game 6-0 over Egypt. There are 2 NFL exhibitions tonight. First quarter, Carolina scoreless at rainy New England. Jacoby Brissett 0 for 3 passing. Drake May now in the game for the Patriots. Giants are scoreless late first quarter, hosting the Lions. There are 3 more preseason games tomorrow. Falcons placed wide receiver Rondale Moore on injured reserve. He's out for the season. Atlanta re-signed punter Ryan Sanborn. Quarterback Nick Foles officially retired. The White Sox fired manager Pedro Grifol and named Grady Sizemore their interim skipper. The Padres won their 5th in a row, 7-6 at Pittsburgh. Milwaukee was a 16-7 winner at Atlanta. The Braves lost 5 straight. The Reds are tied 3-3 at Miami in the 5th. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. We're live from the TireRack.com studios. So, you were saying, I don't want to disrupt your thought, but any more than, an update will pretty much disrupt it. But, this is incredible that LeBron James at age 39 is able to be the best player on the team. And Nick Wright and Kevin Wiles, my co-host on First Things First. Nick Wright was saying if they had lost, this would have been disastrous for LeBron.
I got one even better.
Go ahead.
I got one better. If the U.S. lost that game today, I don't think they medal in these Olympics.
Really? Because you just think
no, just listen to me. I've been watching it all. That game between France and Germany, okay, like that was that to see who's gonna play in, you know what I mean? Like that game between France and Germany.
I want to hear. Yeah, it sounds like you trying to go somewhere.
The loser plays in the bronze, right, for the bronze medal.
Right.
Right. France pulled it off. But if the U.S. lost today and had to go settle for a bronze medal, I don't believe the effort and attention to detail would have been there to go up against a Germany team that has been tremendous in this tournament. Okay. So when I was watching it, I was like, oh, man. Started the fourth quarter, they're down by 13, 14 points. I said, look here, man. I looked at my 10-year-old son who was about to have a panic attack, and I said, there's a good chance that the greatest basketball players in the world won't get a medal in these Olympics if they lose this game. And that's a real honest opinion and assessment. It's not a hot take. It's not that. Just based on what I was watching in that game and how the game prior to that and how I've watched Germany play, I was like, oh, no, this is going to be the Wagner boys and for whatever Dennis Schroeder in the Olympics is he's literally like Steph.
Just like Jose Alvarado is better for the Puerto Rican. You got more freedom. You're the man.
You're the guy.
You know what I'm saying? Right. You can do what you want. And I've always liked Schroeder. I actually thought he'd have a better NBA career. He has had a solid career.
He's made some poor decisions in terms of free agency and all of that. I remember the Lakers offered him $86 million. He turned it down and went and played in Boston for $6 million. I don't know what's going on.
But I thought, even when I remember him coming into the league, I thought he might have some all-star talent, like possibility. Yes. But he's had a solid career but hadn't lived up to that. But I hear you. We don't know, but I will say this. Yeah, it's better to get the bronze than nothing. But if they would have lost this game, it really didn't matter. I mean, again, yeah, it's a little better, but you know what I mean? Like, whether they got the bronze or whether they were out of it, nothing less than gold.
Gold or nothing.
Yes. It really is.
It's gold or nothing.
Or bust.
And it will always be that every single year.
Well, I'm glad. That's interesting you brought that up. I wasn't going to go here. And you may have even been on with me when I've said this, Ephraim. This is the last year we big boy the world. And okay, y'all beat our world, our team USA last year in the World Cup. Okay. Now we going to send LeBron. KD and Steph, and we'll see.
They sent themselves. LeBron and them got together and sent themselves.
Yeah.
We didn't send them. They were like,
but we would have won it. Like, it's time to put the world on notice again.
If they didn't lose in FIBA, we might not have this crew with us now.
Maybe. But my point is this, and I know Jason Tatum, Devin Booker, certainly Anthony Edwards and some of the other players are going to get better. Tyrese Halliburton will get better. But after this year, which will be, assuming we win, our 5th straight gold medal, after that, Ephraim, we going to be like everybody, and it's going to be about, like, we'll see. We might win.
Oh, it's a dogfight.
We got a good chance.
It's a dogfight.
We think, right. And there are going to be years we lose, and it might be 2028.
Listen to what I'm saying. The last 6 MVPs aren't from America. This, in terms of the people, not, the award itself.
Yeah. And 4 of the 5 first-team All-NBA were un-American.
The top 3.
And it would have been all 5 if Embiid didn't get hurt.
The top 3 in the NBA MVP votes were not American.
Right.
So this notion that as far as I know, there isn't another Steph, LeBron, or KD in the wings. I haven't seen anything for me to feel comfortable saying, "Oh, we got another LeBron," which we may never get another LeBron, but we got another Steph coming, and we got another
the best
KD coming.
The closest thing, and look, I think Anthony Edwards' future is incredibly bright. I think he's a great player.
Yes.
And going to be a Hall of Famer and all that. I seriously don't think he's going to be in the class of LeBron and Steph, historically. At best, probably KD. He can do that, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But my point is, like you said, that's going to be our, like, I don't see, at this moment, there's no American out there that you looking at as a guy that could be a top 10 player all time. There's none out there right now.
And
we just got LeBron and Steph, and we had Kobe and Shaq. I'm talking about the recent guys. Mm-hmm. Right now, all those guys that look like they could challenge for that are international. Here's the difference, though, and this is what you hear from a lot of Americans, is that but Giannis and Luka and Jokic, they're not on the same team. They're not from the same country. That's fair. They're not going to be playing together in the Olympics. But as you saw today, you said it. All those players on the Serbian national team have high basketball IQ and play team basketball. Ephraim, we talked yesterday about 2024 versus the Dream Team in 92. That's been a big conversation. You probably heard some of those.
Mm-hmm.
The advantage that 92 would have, and I don't know that this would make them win it or not, but the advantage they would have is that every one of those players, Jordan, Barkley included, Clyde Drexler, they all knew how to play team basketball. Jordan was comfortable going set a screen for somebody, throwing it into the post, right? Running off of, like, they all knew how to play without the ball in their hands. We don't have that today.
No,
everybody's not comfortable with that in America.
Well, the system is set up. I'm just all week. I've been at a basketball camp, 94 feet. Shout out to the people out in Thousand Oaks Sports Academy. 94 feet camp with my 10-year-old son, and been to a lot of AAU games.
That's not Phil.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Phil Handy.
Yeah, shout out to Phil.
Former Lakers coach, right? Assistant.
It's the situation where you're looking and you're going to these AAU tournaments, and you can Ball is Life and all the websites and the Instagram pages and all of that, and what you see is dynamic one-on-one players.
Yep.
You see a guy come down and split the double, spin off a third defender. And I'm thinking, as a coach, what I'm thinking is, okay, that's 3 defenders.
Right.
That you just got by. That means 2 people are wide open.
Wide open, right.
And then
he
you
didn't even
see
think about that.
Not even one look at anybody else on the court, just the rim. So when you get that, and they thrive off that, you get ranked because of that. You know, your stock goes up, your NIL money goes up. All of these things that are going to be overtaking the values of team ball and make basketball IQ, making the right play, all of that's being replaced by self-fulfillment and gratification, which is rewarded by money now that you can make as an athlete. That's the problem that I see with the generation coming up. Anthony Edwards,
look,
you go back and look at his AAU highlights.
Right. I want to continue this thought around the corner because it's a good one. And the proof is in the pudding. But keep it locked here on the Odd Couple as we break down American basketball, Fox Sports Radio.
Sometimes you miss something, or sometimes you may want to hear it again. As soon as this show is over, you can podcast it. Yeah, baby! Just search The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard wherever you get your podcasts. Again, just search The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard wherever you get your podcasts. Rate, review, and most importantly, follow.
Hey, it's The Odd Couple. You know our trusted partner, TireRack.com, for their fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and their great selection of the best tires, like the highly consumer-rated Pirelli Scorpion Weather Active. But did you know they sell other automotive products? Wheels, brakes, suspension, just to name a few. Everything you need to elevate your drive. Go to TireRack.com/sports. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Yeah. I'm going to prove all the doubters. When Dan Patrick speaks, you better stop and listen. Yeah. This is the Dan Patrick Show.
Patriots have pulled out of the running for Brandon Ayuk, and I'm thinking, okay, wait a minute. You were in the running yesterday, you pulled out of the running today, and from the Niners' perspective is Brandon Ayuk did not want to go to the Patriots. That's the story. But then it was spun. Adam Schefter said that the Patriots have decided that they're moving on. They're not interested in Brandon Ayuk. That usually happens when the other person is not interested in you. Like, there's a lot of women that I decided that I was not going to date when I was in high school and college, but they weren't going to date me. Yeah, just saying. You know, if we're dealing with semantics here, 49ers were willing to trade him to the Patriots. The Patriots were willing to make him a top 5 paid wide receiver. Brandon Ayuk, who has the final say, said, I don't want to go to New England. Who wants to go to New England right now? Nobody. Yeah. So the language there was a little tricky, and all of a sudden it's like when somebody's up for something and then they decide that they're going to pull out, take their name out of running consideration. But Shefty said that the Patriots were not interested in Brandon Ayuk because Brandon Ayuk is not interested in them. That's really the story. Now, the Steelers are back in, apparently, and the Cleveland Browns are there as well. This feels like this has to happen here really, really soon. But also, it's tricky because you have to agree to a trade, but then Ayuk has to agree to a trade and the terms.
If you want to know what Dan Patrick said next, just podcast it by searching The Dan Patrick Show. And as always, you can listen to Dan Patrick live weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Micah Parsons just discombobulated the Cowboys offense. Micah Parsons says, I'm eating now. It's pretty much over. I'm in rhythm. I can single-handedly wreck the Cowboys offense. Really? Do you remember how dominating Micah Parsons was against the youngest playoff team since 1970, the Green Bay Packers? He was invisible. He was also invisible mostly against Detroit, no sacks, and the Niners, no sacks and 2 pressures. He's talented like Dak. He's not a savior. He's not as powerful as Myles Garrett. He's not as relentless as Bosa for the Niners or T.J. Watt for the Steelers. He's not. He's Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions, a very good player. The difference is he is sold to us like a legend.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Love it. Embrace it. Right now.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Apparently, Jalen Hurts was going rogue sometimes, and Sirianni took the heat, but it proved to be a cover. He was covering for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Brown revealed that he and Hurts improvised and went on our own, quote, on the play. Yeah, Paul.
Doesn't this feel like one of those stories where if the Eagles had won a lot to end the season, it'd be like, look at these guys. He trusts his quarterback to let him freelance. The results make the story sound so much worse.
Well, they were 10-1 to start the season, and then 1-6 down the stretch. Staff changes, a lot of questions, dysfunctional. I mean, this is a mess. Now, maybe they've righted the ship here, but Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Did you know that we have original podcasts too? Check out Unbreakable with Jay Glazer.
Welcome to Unbreakable, a mental health podcast.
Or Inside the Parker with Rob Parker for you threadheads.
Baseball.
The I Want Your Flex podcast with Dan Beyer and Mike Harmon for fantasy junkies. And what about everything Up on Game presents offers? Want more Ben Maller? How about the Fifth Hour podcast? We have a podcast for everyone, and it's all on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you get your podcasts. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app.
All right. It is the Odd Couple. Chris Broussard, East from Salam is in for Rob Parker. We want to thank Rapid Radios. They're the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage and no subscription or monthly fees ever. It's perfect for instant contact with an aging parent. We use them at the show here. Go to rapidradios.com now for up to 60% off and free shipping. We were talking about, hopefully, and we believe we'll win the gold medal in men's basketball this year. But this, I would even say, I can't, I'm not going to go as far as to say it's likely that we don't win in 2028. But it's going to be tough. And from that point on, going forward, we will just be another country. We'll be one of the favorites. We'll be one of the top countries. We'll probably enter as the number 1 seed and stuff like that. but we're gonna be far from where we are right now, where it's a foregone conclusion. Even though we had a tough game today, where it's a foregone conclusion, we're going to win it all, and the gold medal. And what you were talking about with what you see in AAU, the proof of what you're saying is in the pudding. In that, look at the NBA. And a Jalen Green, who is a great young talent and actually has some great moments and gives you 20-something points a night with the Houston Rockets. I mean, as great as he is, he's not taking over the league.
No.
Not right now.
No.
So it's the proof of what you're saying is right. I mean, we saw it in the draft. 3 of the top 6 players were international.
You know what you need to be good in international basketball, especially the Olympics? You need maturity. Not necessarily.
And we saw that today.
Not necessarily the most talent or most athletic. You need maturity, because without maturity, the U.S. team down 13-14 going into the fourth. Remember, these are 10-minute periods.
Great point.
Athleticism is not going to get you back. Right? That's not going to.
If you're not mature, Ephraim, you going to be like, hold up.
You're going to.
I'm faster than this dude.
You're going to try to out. You're going to try to out. You're going to try to out athlete them.
Yep.
And you're going to put yourself and your team in a situation where panic has set in.
Yep.
Right? Because you can go down, you can get a dunk, but you can come back down and miss a defensive rotation and give up a 3.
Yep.
Right? And then now you feel a certain way going back down. And then now you got that volley. The maturity slows the game down. The maturity takes advantage of the few opportunities you have to make an impact and make a run. That's why LeBron, Steph, Katie, that's why they're great. That's why they're needed this Olympic season. And moving forward, where is the maturity going to come from?
Yep.
That's the question.
Yep.
We're gonna have the best athletes. That's nothing. We're going to have the better athletes. Period. Now, with that, who's going to be the leader, and is it going to be enough maturity on the team to carry us over teams that specialize in discipline, ball movement, teamwork? No one, even though Joker is the best player in the league in terms of the MVP voting, and has been, in my opinion, the last 4 years, they snuck one in and gave it to Embiid. But, his team, he doesn't get there and they're like, oh,
right.
Right.
It's all around
you can see it.
Yeah. I mean, he kind of look, for Denver, he touches the ball every possession essentially. But he's getting rid of it quick. He's
it's not sticking. The ball's not sticking.
Right. He was getting the ball high post and all that. But you're right. They understand he's, of course, the best player.
Yes.
But they don't defer to the point of you create everything for everybody else.
And that's the freedom.
Yep.
And that's the maturity and the freedom that comes with the maturity. Right? It's okay and not having that figurehead. And I keep bringing up Germany, and you look at, how that team is run. Everything goes through Schroeder. When you look at the other team, tell me about France, because I didn't see that game. Do they have a shot?
They
got a real brother. You think this game was hard?
Really? Because I'm not expecting
let me give you
this against France.
Let me give you this. The defensive player of the year. I got you. The defensive player of the year. Play 5 minutes in the first half and then get into the game to 10 seconds left in the game. That's how good they are.
Oh, Gobert, yeah.
And
that's gonna be
what I'm saying. Victor Wembanyama.
They're gonna push us.
Oh, brother, it's going to be hilarious.
Do they have the guard Lando Fournier?
Yes.
Okay.
Home.
Well, they get
home country advantage.
Yeah. They're getting called.
Okay, so this about to be a whole. They have not played in an arena like this in the Olympics. What they're gonna face on Saturday.
Okay, so because a lot of people are thinking, all right, this was.
No,
we know we weren't
going to be
Serbia
worse.
lightly, but that
this is going to be worse.
Well, worse. Worse is a loss.
Your words.
Why you burying the lead? Keep it locked. He might be saying something.
We are Fox Sports.
The other day, the show and I were introduced to the coolest walkie-talkies, Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk devices that provide clear contact nationwide on an LTE network. 100% private and perfect for small business owners to connect with staff. No subscriptions or monthly fees. Visit rapidradios.com. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and get 60% off, free UPS shipping, and a free protection bag. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
Each week, WWE Friday Night SmackDown is live on Fox. Catch the high-flying superstars as they compete for supremacy in the ring. It's Friday Night SmackDown at 8 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app.
This is
The Herd. When Colin Cowherd drops the info, The Herd, you need to listen.
Everybody listen up!
Quarterback Jalen Hurts and head coach Nick Sirianni at no point last year was it a healthy relationship. And when they're together one-on-one, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all. It works a little better when you have somebody who is a buffer between the young quarterback and the young coach. And this is key, because this is what my sources told me when he got the job. I didn't think it was going to work. A source described a lack of respect for Sirianni's X's and O's, and that's important. So I made 2 phone calls when Nick Sirianni got hired. They both said the same thing. He's not ready. He doesn't have an expertise on either side of the ball yet. You could criticize Lincoln Riley at USC. He knows offense. You can criticize, Kirby Smart, first year at Georgia, but the defense immediately got better. Immediately. The great coaches, even the really good ones, Matt Eberflus in Chicago, he got the defense figured out. The last 10 weeks of the year, Chicago's the best defense in the league. And that's in a division with a lot of good offensive coaches, right? So Sirianni doesn't have an expertise. And so people aren't buying it. There was also something that I pointed out, and people love to push back, but I knew I was right. Remember his opening press conference? It was a disaster. It was just word salad. He was nervous. It does matter. Sean McVay and D'Amico Ryans opening press conference. Sharp.
If you're eager to find out what Colin said next, just podcast it by searching The Herd. And as always, you can listen live to Colin Cowherd weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
If I'm Steve Kerr, this is what I do at this point, right? To give you a big blank you to everybody that wanted to say, Jason Tatum's not playing now, Joel Embiid's not playing. We told you this is an overblown controversy, right? You think we're on hot take? No, this is overblown. Everybody's spending time on this. There's nothing. Because no one is upset on Team USA. No one's going public with any kind of complaints. Everybody is fine. Does everybody want to be playing more? Of course they do. But this is the Olympics. This is how it goes. And they won every game by 15 points. Everything is fine. Kerr is the best coach. We told you he was the best coach. Now you're seeing, okay, he's managing the egos, and they're winning games. But if I'm Steve Kerr, I do this, right? I do this.
Okay, let's go.
I am sick of all the... I go full Karate Kid if I'm Steve Kerr.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Let's make the complicated simple.
Colin Cowherd.
Are you ready?
Colin Cowherd.
Well, you know how this works, right?
The most interesting man in sports.
We're confusing interesting with great.
Because when he's right, he's right.
A sports and entertainment prodigy.
And when he's wrong, he's also right.
New information equals new opinion.
It's The Herd with Colin Cowherd. Making your mornings right. Weekdays at 12 p.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken. Wow. You can see him on The Herd. Weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1 in the Fox Sports app. And here's what you need to know.
U.S. men's basketball came back to beat Serbia 95-91 to advance to Saturday's Olympic gold medal game. Steph Curry with 36 points from three-point range. He was 9 for 14. LeBron James with a triple-double. The Americans trailed by 17 in the first half. France won its semifinal 73-69 over Germany. France made the final 3 years ago in Tokyo and lost to the U.S. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final after testing positive for COVID this week. He will miss the relays. Americans finished 1-2 in the 110 hurdles, and the U.S. won gold in women's long jump. U.S. women's volleyball took its semifinal in 5 sets over Brazil. 2 NFL exhibitions tonight. Second quarter at New England. Patriots scoreless with Carolina. Detroit leads 3-0 in the second at the Giants. I'm Steve DeSager.
Do you know who this is? Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple. One guy's married. One guy is divorced. One guy has no kids. One guy has 2 beautiful daughters. One guy went to college in a cornfield in Ohio. One guy went to an Ivy League school in the big city. One guy spends his Sunday morning seated in the pew.
Sweet Jesus.
The other spends it throwing money at the pole. Can these 2 sports writers share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio, with Ephraim Salam sitting in for Rob Parker. Here's Chris Broussard.
We are live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. They've got an unmatched selection, fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and more than 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. Now, when we closed the last hour, Ephraim Salam sounded like he was about to say something incredible. So I'm just gonna ask you: are you picking France to beat the United States Saturday in the gold medal game for men's basketball?
The one thing I will never do, okay? Whenever the Olympics come around, I treat the Olympics like the Lakers, right? Or any other team that I follow, right? I'm in, all in. Whether I'm happy with the way things are looking, I'm all in. I'm all in on the U.S.
Did you predict the Lakers were going to beat the Nuggets?
Of course, man. Of course I
you
did.
All in. Then.
Right? I'm really all in, right? Like, it's not wavering. Now, what I will say and what I was alluding to is a lot of people took a sigh of relief. Like, we got past Serbia and Nikola Jokic. It's easy selling now. Just watching France, number one, there's a home country advantage.
Yeah.
That arena, brother, that arena is going to sound, this is the first time since 96, since it was in Atlanta, that the host nation is even going to medal in the Olympics in basketball.
Right.
Even win a medal, okay? Let alone compete for a gold medal against the world's best, which the team is led by a 20-year-old kid who just so happened to be the first pick in the draft last year of this very organization called the NBA. The defensive player of the year is also on this team. And so being at home, being able to, the thing the U.S. struggled with outside of Steph was the three-point shot, right? They'll jack them up. No, they'll jack them up. Bam Adebayo shooting three-pointers. He may have shot 3 all last year in Miami. All of a sudden on the world stage, he letting them things go. The problem with doing that is when you have a 7'3" unicorn, there's not a lot of area to get the rebound. Right? He's going to, on missed shot, there'll be very few second shot opportunities, is what I'm saying, on missed long balls. Right? So you say, okay, well, let's go inside out. His range in guarding the rim is crazy. It's not like the NBA, for those who don't know, where there's defensive 3 seconds. You can just stand in the key. You don't ever have to move.
Right.
You don't have to be near an opponent. You can just stand there, right?
So let me ask you this, because again, I haven't seen much of France. I haven't been impressed with the scores and, like all that. We know they have Wembanyama, who offensively has struggled during the Olympics. I know at one point he was 4 for 17 today. I don't know what he finished. What about around? And Gobert isn't playing much.
No, because.
So do they have enough around Wembanyama, who's going to have his imprint on the game defensively, to compete?
I think they do in terms of their guard play. They also have, Victor on their team is not a post player, right? He's a stretch everything. Like,
so he's always on.
But they do have post players. And I can't pronounce his name.
On the box. Well, Yabusele.
Yes.
Yabusele. Yeah,
now,
he's. I know.
Yeah,
he's been
Gershon Yabusele. He want all the smoke down low. Right. So when they flash Victor to the high post and he gets it at 7'3" and extends his hands up and just dumps it down high, let's call it a high-low action. Right. The guard set screens, they pass. Victor flashes, they dump it to him. He can turn. If the defense doesn't honor it, he just turns and shoots that short 12-foot jump shot that he's really good at because he's shooting down on the rim. Or he dumps it down to the big, right? That's the issue. That's the problem that we're going to have. Because if Anthony Davis is guarding Victor Wembanyama, which I would say, then Bam is left to bang down below if they go Bam and AD.
AD, right.
That's a problem. Also, their guards have, like, unlike the U.S., when I talked about last hour about, do I take this shot or do I give it to a Steph or LeBron or KD? Everybody got the green light, man. Everybody just going. When you have that type of freedom to go, you're at home, the crowd, brother, that is dangerous.
Imagine if Embiid had played for France.
This would be a real issue right now.
And look, I'm not going to take anything away from Embiid. Shoot, after what we saw today, I'm glad he's playing for us in America.
Well, this is why this is why we were there. We needed him for Serbia.
Right. I got I'm cool with what he chose to do. But, and again, not a criticism. I mean, and I get, maybe it's just, like he said, he's an American now. He loves America. But a real competitive nature, and I'm not saying he's not competitive, but you know what I mean, would have been like, man, I'm going to France and we gonna beat America. Right? Yeah. And if you saying, can you imagine him inside and
oh my gosh,
Wembanyama outside?
No answers. With Bam and AD, who would have replaced him? What is the other big American big in the NBA that would have replaced?
Bam ain't that big.
He's not a big.
Right.
Bam is not a big.
And
it works in the
really
Miami side. There is no other big that you would bring and put on the team from the NBA, from America, that would fill that void. So now we would be really undersized.
Yeah, I'm looking at the name. I'm looking at the teams right now. I mean, Brooke Lopez, Miles Turner. They're not. I mean, they're not Evan Mobley, Jared Allen. I mean, but none of them are moving me. Real talk.
You get what I'm saying? So that's the issue. That's the problem. Thankfully, Embiid decided to play. He wanted a gold medal, so he was like, "Look, I'm just gonna join everybody over here. We all over here." That's why every time he touches the ball, the French fans, they boo him. They yell out traitor, all kinds of stuff like that. Right? Yeah.
I'm just looking at names.
I mean, it would have to be Cat, I guess, but it
Chet ain't banging, yeah.
No, like
it would have been.
There
a problem.
is definitely a lack of size.
It could be.
Yeah, there's a lack of size because bigs aren't trained as bigs anymore.
Right.
Bigs aren't trained as.
And my thing, Ephraim, and you like you say, you coach and AAU and all that. And I imagine you will tell kids this. I'm like, look, it is not like you can't do both. It's not like if you work on your three-point shot and your handle, you can also develop a post game. You can.
Right, I'm getting.
Am I wrong? Like,
no, you're absolutely right.
What is going on?
This is what I did last year. So I'm coaching 11, 12-year-olds, and I got this giant kid. He's the first day of practice. He comes in. He going between the legs. He warming up.
How big is he? And he's 11 or 12?
He's at least close to 6 feet, somewhere right in there, 5,
Okay.
11, 5.
Wow.
Like at that age, that's huge.
Yeah.
And so he's warming up with the guards and all. He going between the legs, behind the back, and I'm like, hey, man, come here. Let me talk to you for a second. I told his dad. His dad came from a theater background, so he was always like, hey, I keep telling him to be serious in rehearsal. Practice. Like, so there. So what I did was.
Well, that's good because he'll probably let the kid, let
he
you
gonna
teach.
he gonna let him go. He gonna let him go.
Yeah.
So what I did was I cut my practice in half. I had my assistant coach the guards, and I took the bigs, and we spent half the practice on the other side of the court working on back to the basket offense and defense.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, so we spent, this kid turned out, you want to talk about in that 1 year, he made the All-Stars. He was a dominant force inside.
He did both inside and outside, or was
I said, hey man, you don't shoot no jump shot. I don't need that from you. I got real live shooters over here.
Right.
You got these guards. I need you to get big, both hands up.
Are you also, because I agree with that, but I will work him, make sure he's getting his perimeter development.
Just listen. At this age, the perimeter stuff is all they see. So when they're at home, they're not practicing with their back to the basket. When they're at the park, when they're at school, at lunch, they're not practicing with their back to the basket. I know this. So no, when we practice, I'm specializing on a skill set that you're not going to do anywhere else outside of this practice time that we have.
Right.
He's going to get those shots up. I'm telling you, he's going to put all that up.
The only thing I would say, and I agree with you, but it's a difference in handling it, shooting jumpers at the park.
Yeah.
An open gym than there is in real games.
But what I'm
so
telling you,
I would get him doing both because the dude might not grow. He might end up being 6'2".
Let me tell you this. When I was in high school, I didn't shoot one three-pointer. When I was on my high school team.
They ain't even had threes when I played high school.
That's funny.
That's
I didn't,
real talk.
but this is a real thing. I didn't shoot one three-pointer in high school. Right? I averaged 24 points a game, back of the basket, in the post, short jump shot, jump hooks, drop step, dunks, the whole 9 yards. When I was on my AAU team, I played the three.
Okay. So
I had 7 threes in a game. Right? That's what really sped up my recruitment. Right. Is when I started going to Vegas and the National Invitation. And they were like, oh my God, who's this skinny kid over here, right? But in high school, I just played with my back to the basket.
Right.
So now, outside of that, at the parks, playing with my brother who was a guard, I learned to dribble. I learned to pull up on the three. I learned to come off the screen. I learned to do all those things. But the game, the part of the game that really got me focused, I got a lot of my scholarship offers from this big man camp that I went to where we're only allowed 2 dribbles and we had to either pass it or score it. And when I was able to dominate there, teams were like, oh, wait, hold on, wait a minute.
Let's go get him.
Right?
Well,
So
look,
it's important at that age to learn that skill because that's not being taught anywhere.
Nah, and and you see it, like you said, we needed to import Embiid, basically. All right, we're gonna get to some NFL. Patrick Mahomes, is he being disrespected? That's next on the Odd Couple. Keep it locked, Fox Sports Radio. Job searching can be a lonely process, folks. Endless searches, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish. Well, it's time for a better way to find a job. And Express Employment Professionals is what you need. It's the local jobs expert that you can trust, and they never charge a fee to help with your job search. Go to expresspros.com to find the office nearest you. Each year, tens of thousands of job seekers find work with the help of Express Employment Professionals, and Express helps people find all kinds of jobs, from manufacturing to logistics to customer service to accounting and more. Getting an interview with Express can be as easy as a phone call. And with just one application with Express Employment Professionals, you are in the running for numerous opportunities in your community. So make your job search easier by letting the professionals at Express be your talent agent to find you the right spot on a great team. Express Employment Professionals is your one connection for getting a job. Visit expresspros.com today.
I don't even know your name. What's your name?
Now that NFL training camps are here,
It's a pleasure, man, to be out here with y'all boys.
you can relax. Football is basically back. And before you know it, Tom Brady will be serenading your ears on Sundays. We're Fox Sports Radio.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. hims.com/joy.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select the new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
Two pros and a cup of Joe.
The best of the best.
Okay. This is what mornings sound like.
This is the most intriguing content that I've been a part of.
LeVar Arrington.
I was talking so much S that game.
Brady Quinn.
I'll give you the best handoffs you've ever seen.
Cool. And Jonas Knox.
Great heart, generous, caring, perfect.
This is what mornings can do.
That's like an alarm clock.
It's Two Pros and a Cup of Joe. Weekdays at 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Hey guys.
Ready? Jason Smith and Mike Harmon are dropping knowledge like this.
So Charles Barkley, who was very upset that Turner was going to be losing NBA rights.
Childlike at times.
Yeah, was upset at Turner, was upset at everybody.
Called names, called everybody idiots.
How do you let this happen?
Blah, blah, blah.
And then he said, you know what, I'm going to retire. I'm not going to come back. This next year is going to be my last year. Really? I remember when he said it, we said, really? Is that going to happen?
Didn't buy
really?
it then.
Is that going to, really?
Well.
You're gonna, really? Because remember, he still has almost all of his 10-year Turner extension.
That he decided to tell you what he was making.
Which is worth $20 million a year.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley said, you know, I thought about it, And
my accountant said.
Yeah, I thought
and the
about
lawyers
it.
said.
Yeah, and I'm not going to retire. I'm going to stay with TNT in whatever role they have for me.
Is he going to show
I'm
up
gonna
on an
stay.
AEW telecast? Maybe host a game show? Maybe become an impractical joker?
Ernie Johnson's going to stay. Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, we don't know. Inside the NBA, they could still do inside the NBA. After this year, they're just not going to have any NBA games.
Yeah, right. They're not leading into, breaking into, or recapping games.
So why did we get this reversal of fortune from Charles Barkley? It's very simple. When he first retired, he thought he was helping, I'm going to pull a power play. Me threatening to retire is going to get TNT to keep the NBA. The NBA said, that's great, thanks, we're going with Amazon. Oh, no, wait a minute. Barkley is staying because...
To get the rest of what Jason Smith and Mike Harmon said, podcast it by searching The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. And as always, you can hear The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. He's Steve Covino.
I'm slightly vato.
He's Rich Davis.
I may jump through this glass window in the studio.
And they do it all.
Let's talk about all of it.
Radio for the people.
I like that.
Pretty solid.
Your afternoon pick-me-up.
Covino and Rich. All right.
Ooh, yeah. It's Covino and Rich.
No woman's ever told you you're Mariano Rivera in the bedroom. Win section.
Weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. When you call yourself the premier sports lineup in the nation, you have to back it up. Well, my friends, we do. Check these names. Dan Patrick, Colin Cowherd, LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, Jonas Knox, Doug Gottlieb.
Spectacular.
Covino and Rich, Chris Broussard, Rob Parker, Ben Maller, Jason Smith, and Mike Harmon. Is that premier enough? Listen to all those names right here.
Really?
On Fox Sports Radio. The most fearless voice in sports is on FS1. The one and only Colin Cowherd is bold, unique, and outspoken.
Wow.
You can see him on The Herd, weekdays at noon Eastern on FS1
Now
and the
this
Fox
is a
Sports
story
app.
all about how my life got flipped
All
turned
right.
upside down.
It
and
is
I'd like
the
to take
Odd
a minute
Couple,
and just sit right there.
live from the
How it became the prince of a
TireRack.com
town called
studios.
Bel Air.
As America struggles with rising expenses, Fox Sports Radio and TireRack.com have teamed up to put something valuable in the hands of our loyal listeners. That's right. We're giving away 4 brand new tires valued at up to $1,500 every 2 weeks this summer. One winner's already been selected, and now 2 more will receive a set of 4 tires plus taxes, fees, all valued at up to $1,500 installation as well. Be sure to register for your opportunity now, as the next winner will be selected this Sunday. Enter daily and get the rules at foxsportsradio.com. That's foxsportsradio.com. Every day you can register for a fresh new entry to boost your chances of winning. It is all furnished by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. Let's go to the NFL. Ephraim, today, Caleb Williams, the number 1 pick in this year's NFL draft, quarterback for the Chicago Bears, was on the Kay Adams show, and he was asked, well, I don't know if he's asked about Matthew Stafford, but he was raving about Matthew Stafford. And he called him the second best quarterback in the world behind Aaron Rodgers, who's his guy that he modeled his game after. Here's Caleb.
Matthew Stafford is probably, I don't think I can name 2 or 3 quarterbacks that play the position better than Matthew Stafford.
Wow.
Not obviously playing right now. I'm not saying
42. He was 42 on the list.
I don't know how he's 42.
You're telling me he's better than Josh Allen. He's better than that's
Matthew Stafford is Matthew Stafford. Aaron Rodgers right now in the game is my number 1 QB.
Yes. Which we love.
Obviously last year he got hurt and things like that, so that's it kind of varies for the top 100. But
you don't play Aaron, you play Matthew though.
Yeah, Matthew's
Week
top
4.
2 in the league.
I'm not even going to get into that because Matthew Stafford's not the second best. And I know you like Stafford, but he ain't the second best quarterback in the league. But I'm going to say this. Why I feel, and I think disrespect is probably too strong, but I mean, I don't know what else to really call it when the top 100 list comes out, and Patrick Mahomes is 4th. He's not even the first QB. Lamar Jackson is, who was 2nd. And now this. Caleb Williams saying that Aaron Rodgers and Matthew Stafford are better than Patrick Mahomes. Why? First of all, I think you disagree with that, but with what he's saying, but what are your thoughts on his rankings and the disrespect that I'm saying is out there? Top 4, number 4 in the top 100. And why do you think that is for a dude that I think is the best quarterback ever? I'm not calling him the GOAT. He's not that. You got to accomplish more. But I do think he's the best we've ever seen and en route to becoming the GOAT, assuming he wins more Super Bowls, several more, but still more Super Bowls. So what are your thoughts on this whole thing?
So are you asking me, is there a level of disrespect coming from Caleb Williams in his assessment or
I'm
the
just
NFL
saying
100?
in general, I'm combining the top 100 where he clearly should have been first to me, and now what Caleb Williams is saying.
So let me address the Caleb Williams thing first, and then I'll do the NFL 100. As far as Caleb Williams, like everybody's, they can have you're entitled to your opinion, right?
Yeah, of course.
The Aaron Rodgers, he grew up watching and I guess patterned his game after is not the Aaron Rodgers who's currently playing in the NFL right now.
Right.
Even his last healthy year in Green Bay wasn't anything to write home about. Played 4 plays last season. He's coming off an Achilles injury. We'll see what Aaron Rodgers shows up. All right. To say that Matthew Stafford is the second best quarterback in the NFL, to me, means that you're not paying attention to what's going on. Maybe he spent a lot of time watching college. But look, once again, it's his opinion. Right. So if he sees something special in Matthew Stafford that he doesn't see in Patrick Mahomes, in Lamar Jackson, in, Dak Prescott, Josh Allen,
Joe
Burrow, even Justin Herbert.
Right.
If he sees something in Matthew Stafford that he doesn't see in any of those other quarterbacks, then to me, I want to know what he's watching. All right, because then that you'd be like, okay, well, what did you see that led you there? I don't know if he knows him, if if he signed something when he was a kid one time. It could be anything, right? It could be anything. Oh, my favorite player is this because when I was a kid, he looked at me and be like, "Hey, you." We don't know, what that is. But what I'm saying is, the disrespect on Patrick Mahomes on any team is a viable playoff threat and conference, at least conference championship participant on any team. So,
he's far and away the best, right?
It's not even close. When we talk about the top 5 quarterbacks, you don't even really put him in there because he's separated himself.
Right.
Remember how Tom Brady separated himself from the others that everybody was talking about? That's what Patrick Mahomes has done. He's separated himself from that.
Nah, I'm with you. All right, we got Mark Stein. Great day to talk to him with what happened with Team USA. The great NBA insider. He'll join us in a moment. But first, Steve DeSager with the update. Steve?
Hey, Steve.
Steve, ready?
Steve, you're talking to yourself.
Is he talking?
Standing by. There we go.
Here we go.
Let's start with the Olympics. U.S. men's basketball came back to beat Serbia 95-91 to advance to Saturday's gold medal game. Steph Curry with 36 points from three-point range. He was 9 for 14. LeBron James a triple-double. Joel Embiid 19 points. The U.S. led for less than 3.5 minutes in this game and advances. The Americans were down 17 in the second quarter, down by 15 late in the third. The U.S. shot 57% from the floor. Next up, the host France, which won its semifinal against Germany 73-69, even though Victor Wembanyama had just 11 points, 4 of 17 shooting from the floor, and Rudy Gobert played 5 minutes. France from three-point range today was 6 for 27. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles, breaking her own world record again. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final after testing positive for COVID this week. He will miss tomorrow's relay. U.S. women's volleyball won its semifinal in 5 sets over Brazil. In the NFL, we've got a couple of exhibitions tonight. One with bad weather in New England. It stopped raining. Patriots up 7-0 over Carolina under 2 minutes to go in the first half. Thank you. 3 quarterbacks have played for the Patriots, including starter Jacoby Brissett, who
late
went
much
0 for 3 passing. The Giants at the 2-minute warning late first half lead 14-3 over the Detroit Lions. 2 touchdown runs from Eric Gray. The Falcons placed wide receiver Rondale Moore on injured reserve. He's out for the season. The White Sox fired manager Pedro Grifol and named Grady Sizemore their interim skipper. The Padres won their 5th game in a row today, 7-6 the final at Pittsburgh. The Braves have lost 5 in a row. Milwaukee beat them up 16-7. Right now, the Angels lead at Yankee Stadium, 2-1 over New York in the 5th. Blue Jays ahead of the Orioles, 3-2 in the bottom of the 5th. Reds and Marlins tied 3-3, bottom of the 8th. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. We're live from the TireRack.com studios. Our next guest, co-host of This League Uncut, great podcast he does with Chris Haynes, Fox Sports Radio NBA insider, longtime colleague and friend of mine. Our man, Mark Stein. What's up, Mark?
Man, it's been a great week of hoops, seriously.
Man, yes it is.
Quarterfinals were good, and today was even better. Really been.
I was just saying, absolutely. And we got Ephraim Salam in, Mark, for Rob Parker. I was just saying, like, it's a great to have you on today with what just happened. So, what is let's just start with your thoughts on Serbia. I mean, giving America absolutely all it wanted.
I got to say, today to me was the ultimate, this is why you play the game. Because both semifinals were shocking to me. I think Serbia played the United States twice in July. And so there was this conspiracy theory going around that, they held back. They're saving their best for when the teams meet in the knockout round. And I was like, no way, no chance. There's no way that could happen. The U.S. is dialed in, playing, really the U.S. looked awful in the exhibition games. But since the tournament proper began in the Olympics, we were seeing team ball, we were seeing defense, and that's the way the United States has to win, by playing defense first. That's how they overcome the continuity that they don't have. But, I mean, Serbia found a completely new gear. They finally shot the ball where the shooting had been streaky throughout the tournament. And it just finally in the fourth quarter, the U.S. ratcheted up the defense, and it helped them win the game. And they got great performances from, obviously, Curry, Embiid, LeBron. But, Serbia was sensational, and I would have thought the United States did not need another wake-up call, but it was an absolute I mean, and
I want to follow up.
Go ahead.
I mean, if you've been in touch with people around the league since the game, what are people saying?
People, like I said, I think the general vibe that I get is that people thought this team had figured it out and was not going to have an issue. But defensively, I mean, the first 3 quarters was just not even close to good enough defensively. And again, that's what they need to overcome the fact that this group, as talented as it is still thrown together. It is still only played, they've basically been together a month as a team. And now they've got to deal with France. And France is just, in group play, France was the absolute disappointment of this tournament. They should have lost to Japan, which held out on two very soft calls. They got a 4-point play to force overtime. They almost lost to Hachimura-less Japan and then got really schooled by Germany. And they were under intense pressure and huge criticism. And the way they have come back and responded against Canada and now Germany, and Germany is a team. You know, Germany has shooting, size, smart, continuity. Germany has had basically the same team for 3 years. And now you see the United States is going to play France. And that home court advantage that the French have is no joke. And Saturday's gold medal game is going to be, it should be delicious with that atmosphere. And then you bring in the whole Joel Embiid situation because, of course, everyone in France is still furious that Joel Embiid chose to play for the United States rather than France. So, that Saturday's gold medal game should be irresistible.
So, Mark, let me ask you this. Based on everything you just said, I was mentioning some of those very same things a little bit earlier. Watching France play now, watching them play against a 3-0 Canada team who have 5 NBA starters in their starting lineup, have a team full of NBA talent, and then beating them, and then coming in and playing Germany today the way they played Germany, beating them. To me, what I said was that poses a huge problem for the U.S. team. The fact that Victor Wembanyama is essentially the leader of the team at 20 years old, he makes it difficult for you to live in the paint inside out, is what, United States had been doing outside of today's game. And if Steph isn't shooting the way he's shooting, then we're not even having this conversation because the U.S. hasn't been great from 3. So I think France poses a huge problem and possible upset. I really do. I don't think that because I'm an American and I'm going for the U.S. But the France that I'm seeing play now should be sending alarm bells through the locker room over there with Steve Kerr and his staff. What do you think?
The reason this France team looks so bad in group play and where they are so vulnerable is in the backcourt. Their guard play is just not really where it needs to be. And the United States has the defensive personnel to absolutely smother their guards and make the French backcourt really suffer. And that's the way for the U.S. to win. But look, with the head of steam that France has now, France playing Canada in the quarterfinals was the worst possible draw they could have gotten, but it was also this opportunity to completely turn their Olympics around. They seized it, and now after beating Canada and Germany at home, they've whipped the whole country into a frenzy. It's going to be a crazy atmosphere in there. And now, can that atmosphere get the United States? I think that would be the key for France to win. And again, the way Embiid Embiid is going to be, he's going to face as hostile a crowd as he's ever endured in his career. But look, for all the criticism that Embiid has absorbed for the last month about he isn't in shape, he doesn't belong on this team, he was massive in this game today.
Yep.
And the United States doesn't win this game against Serbia without Embiid playing as well as he did. So what does Embiid have in store as a response, as a follow-up? But again, the United States, if they lock in defensively and really hound the French guard, they're going to win the game. They're going to cause France a lot of problems that just no other team can defensively. But again, they have to do it. And today the defense was so bad for 3 quarters. And I'm shocked that basically in the semis of this tournament that would happen. The way that the United States has been playing, that was a major step back for 3 quarters, and I wasn't expecting that.
I agree with that, and I had said to Chris earlier, the reason Joel Embiid's on this team was for this game, was to play against Nikola Jokic and Serbia.
Well, the other reason he's on the team is because they just didn't want him to end up playing for France. That was why it was so heated. Because they were like, France
Good
already
move.
has Gobert and Wemby. We don't want them getting Embiid too. But you're right. They need today against Jokic. They needed him.
Yeah,
to win.
that to me speaks volumes. So all of the stuff that was coming out about it not being in shape and all that, I was like, well, just wait. Let's wait, because not only does he match up well against him, he has a bone to pick with him, because he feels that one of those MVPs was stolen from him by Nikola Jokic. So that rivalry in terms of great big men is live and present. That they carried that over from the NBA and now on the Olympic stage.
Yeah, and
Mark,
like I said, after the game today, I don't know if you guys saw, but I mean, he was out there, gesturing to the crowd, basically inviting more boos and negativity. So it's going to be a crazy scene Saturday night.
Jason Tatum, of course, didn't play. And I do think there is a narrative out there that I think is too overstated, I guess. But, since he didn't win the Eastern Conference MVP, he didn't win the Finals MVP, and now he's been benched, essentially, at least for these 2 games against Serbia, in the Olympics. Do you think this is a big deal, and will spill over into the NBA season, or do you think, it's not that big of a deal? It happens in the Olympics. Everybody can't, play all the minutes and so on and so forth. It's all about the gold. Where are you at on this?
I don't know yet how big a deal it's going to be in terms of the season, because, look, it could be a factor, and I'm sure that the Celtics rivals are hoping that it becomes a factor between Tatum getting multiple DNP CDs in the tournament and Jaylen Brown not being on the team at all, and then you factor in Porzingis is going to miss the start of the season. I'm sure the Celtics rivals are hoping that this snowballs into some sort of source of tension. But honestly, it's a much bigger deal for 2028, because LeBron is 39, Steph is 36, Durant is soon to be 36. Presumably, these guys are not going to be on the team in 2028 in LA 4 years from now. Tatum, you would expect to be a major part of that team. And the question is going to be asked, and he will be asked repeatedly, and I don't know that we're going to get an immediate answer, is he going to want to play on this team in 2028 after he was basically dropped from the rotation in 2024? But here's the other reality. The big deal is Jason Tatum did not shoot the ball well for a good chunk of the playoffs. He's not shooting it any better with Team USA, and I think that's why he's not playing. His three-point shot is a mess. He doesn't look confident in it, and I think that is a factor. Everybody's just saying, he's Jason Tatum. He's part of the NBA champion. He needs to be playing. He hasn't been playing well, and that's, I think, why he's been dropped out of the rotation. And that, to me, would be the biggest concern of all. His shot has been off for a long time, and why? What is going on with his three-point shot?
All right. That is our man, Mark Stein. Great stuff, man. I agree with you. Saturday will be delicious. I can't wait. We better win the gold. That's all I got to say.
I hope so.
I'll find you Monday to see what you say.
All right, man. Later. All right. Jokic. I mean, what do you have? 2 NBA players with him? And some minor leaguers, and I don't mean it disrespectful, but they're not in the NBA, they minor leaguers. Right? And they almost beat us. What does that mean? That's next. Odd Couple, Fox Sports Radio.
Fox Sports Radio has teamed up with TireRack.com to give away a set of 4 brand new tires valued at up to $1,500 every 2 weeks this summer. Winners will receive a set of 4 new tires plus installation, taxes, and fees. Enter daily and get rules at FoxSportsRadio.com. Furnished by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
Hey, it's the Odd Couple. You know our trusted partner, TireRack.com, for their fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and their great selection of the best tires, like the highly consumer-rated Toyo Open Country AT3. But did you know they sell other automotive products? Wheels, brakes, suspension, just to name a few. Everything you need to elevate your drive. Go to TireRack.com/sports. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
I like the morning show.
They're really funny in the morning.
This is the show that has 2 pros and a cup of Joe.
Who is Joe?
LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and Jonas Knox.
Jaden Daniels, the presumed to be starting quarterback for the Washington Commandos. He will be getting the start in the preseason versus the Jets. This was really no surprise for those that I think know Dan Quinn, their new head coach, and how he operates. However, it is in contrast to what we saw from the Bears, which, granted, Hall of Fame game, did not start the number 1 overall pick, Caleb Williams. Is this how you think things should be done? Like, if this is going to be your guy, even though he's a rookie, he still needs to get out there and get some live reps in to adjust to the speed of the game. Is that fair in your mind, LeVar?
Yes. Why not get the man some reps? I am still trying to figure out and understand, why do you not get him a few game reps? I mean, this is a rookie, so he's never played in a National Football League game before.
Right.
He doesn't know what that looks like. His body doesn't know. His mental doesn't know. And whether or not you're playing against starters or not, don't you want to give this guy an opportunity immediately to say, you know what, I got it out of my system. I got onto the field. I played a couple downs. It felt good. I got out of there like building from it, moving on. I just think that it's overstated. The whole, and I know you're on the offense side of the ball, and you are a quarterback, so you could tell me I'm wrong, but the whole idea of you're like, I'm holding you out because you're going to get injured, I think it's an overstated conversation. I do.
I think for veterans, it's different.
To get the rest of LeVar Arrington, Brady Quinn, and Jonas Knox, podcast by searching 2 pros and a cup of Joe. Listen to 2 pros and a cup of Joe weekdays from 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Micah Parsons just discombobulated the Cowboys offense. Micah Parsons says, I'm eating now. It's pretty much over. I'm in rhythm. I can single-handedly wreck the Cowboys offense. Really? Do you remember how dominating Micah Parsons was against the youngest playoff team since 1970, the Green Bay Packers? He was invisible. He was also invisible mostly against Detroit, no sacks, and the Niners, no sacks and 2 pressures. He's talented like Dak. He's not a savior. He's not as powerful as Myles Garrett. He's not as relentless as Bosa for the Niners or T.J. Watt for the Steelers. He's not. He's Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions, a very good player. The difference is he is sold to us like a legend.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Love it. Embrace it. Right now.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Apparently, Jalen Hurts was going rogue sometimes, and Sirianni took the heat, but it proved to be a cover. He was covering for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Brown revealed that he and Hurts improvised and went on our own, quote, on the play. Yeah, Paul.
Doesn't this feel like one of those stories where if the Eagles had won a lot to end the season, it'd be like, look at these guys. He trusts his quarterback to let him freelance. The results make the story sound so much worse.
Well, they were 10-1 to start the season, and then 1-6 down the stretch. Staff changes, a lot of questions, dysfunctional. I mean, this is a mess. Now, maybe they've righted the ship here, but Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Here's a statement you can take away.
When it comes to talking, we can't shut up. We believe in real talk.
Are we talking about it?
Yeah.
We won't shut up.
It's loud.
I know what the hell I'm talking about.
As a matter of fact, we do more than talk.
Ladies and gentlemen,
We sing,
It's raining dogs. Hallelujah.
we yell,
Whose roster's better? We gotta keep our composure.
relax.
This is baloney.
We are Fox Sports Radio. I'm just enjoying the premier sports lineup in the nation. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Go. Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1.
All right, it's the Odd Couple live from the TireRack.com studios. We want to thank Rapid Radios. It's the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies that offer national LTE coverage and no subscription or monthly fees. Business owners can keep in touch with up to 200 staff at one time. Go to Rapid Radios now for up to 60% off and free shipping. Now, Ephraim, I mentioned to you earlier that we were talking about, the last couple of days, I believe, this year's team, 2024 versus the 1992 Dream Team. And one of the advantages that this year's team will have is that even though LeBron and Steph and KD are old, they're still really pretty close to their prime, playing well, in good health. The 92 team, Larry Bird never played another NBA game. He had a bad back. He did play 18 minutes a game in the Olympics, but really wasn't the same. And Magic Johnson was a year removed from, consistent NBA basketball because of the HIV. So Bird certainly wasn't at his best, and it's a good chance Magic wasn't. But I said and I think both teams are great. But I said I would still give me 92, and some of that was just being old school. But I said I'm going with 92. Obviously, you still had Jordan, Barkley, guys like that in their prime, but also because Magic Johnson and Larry Bird, although he wouldn't be much of a factor just because he was banged up, but Magic Johnson is the best player of all time in my view, and I think most people's view, of bringing a team together and creating that chemistry, getting everybody to work as a team. And so I think that, along with the great talent on the 92 team and those guys knowing how to play five-man basketball, all of them, would help them prevail. And I think what we saw today was kind of an example of what I was talking about, Ephraim. And Jokic is not as good as Magic, obviously, as great as he is. At this point, I'm not saying he's as great as Bird, but, he plays like them in that he moves the ball. He's high basketball IQ, skilled at everything, and can control the game without taking a ton of shots or scoring a ton of points. And today you saw him take a far undermanned team and almost beat Team USA, which was loaded, simply because he was playing like a Magic Johnson or a Larry Bird.
The thing that the 92 team has had over, not only did they, have a team full of the 50th greatest players of all time, and you're right, several of the marquee players, top 10 NBA players of all time, were past their prime. They were pretty much done. They were done, actually. But like you said, Magic Johnson is the greatest point guard to ever play, in my opinion. The way the game was structured is the point guard is the general, right? The floor general. He's going to get you where you need to be. He's going to push the pace. He's going to be able to control the game. That's the whole point of it, to control the game. We're not going to get too fast. We're not going to get too slow, right? I can speed it up when it's need be. We can lock it down, right? Like, so we can pull the ball back or we can push it. Everybody's a point guard, point forward, there's no more positions. They don't even do positions for all-stars anymore. They're just the guys, right? So without there being positions and without this moniker of the point guard centric, like, the John Stocktons and the Isaiah Thompson, all of those great teams that they were on, we know who the leaders of those teams were because they can control the flow, the maturity, the leadership of the team. Well, we don't really have that anymore. But overseas, they still subscribe to some of those values. So Nikola Jokic is the point center. Just like even though Denver has point guards, Nikola Jokic
really
brings
is
the
the
ball
point
up the
guard.
court. He sets the table. So you dropping him into a team like that who feeds off of him and he can control that dynamic is different.
No doubt. No doubt. All right, we got 1 hour left. There's a team out there that nobody's talking about that was awesome. That's next. We are Sports. The other day, the show and I were introduced to the coolest walkie-talkies, Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk devices that provide clear contact nationwide on an LTE network. 100% private and a great alternative to cell phones for kids. No subscriptions or monthly fees. Visit rapidradios.com. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and get 60% off. Free UPS shipping and a free protection bag. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we made your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
FS1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
And now, there are some shows you don't want to miss.
Anyway, it's a big story.
And there are some shows you can't miss.
Yes!
This is Covino and Rich.
I hate hypotheticals. I really do. Like, man, who do you think will win? Mike Tyson or Muhammad Ali? Would Roger Clemens strike out Babe Ruth? And I understand people love that, but I'm like, I tune out of those. I think the Dream Team one versus today's team is a fun one. And I just think size and athleticism puts today's team ahead.
I don't think the thought of the matchup is as fun as the hypothetical of what would Vegas set the point spread at. Because
I immediately thought 10, but I have to take it back, and I actually agree with Dan Beyer. I'm going to go 8 because you can't deny the chemistry of that team. They were ballers. We're just
But to make it clear, you're saying the current team by 8.
Yes, current team by 8. Then guys like Len hit us up. Len from Idaho. What up, Len? Not buying it. The toughness, the attitude, the never lose attitude would be far superior. Just the toughness and tenacity of yesteryear's team would beat today's team.
And listen, Len shares the sentiment of a lot of people, but I just wonder if that is glorifying your childhood. The same way someone would be like, yeah, dude, Metallica's the greatest. Like, but that's how you living in the moment.
He makes a point. That's why I'm going from 10 to 8. I still think today's team would win.
Like,
it's
you don't
just
think
too big, too strong.
You don't think LeBron James is a superior athlete to any of those guys?
Those dudes were ballers, though. And that's why it's fun. It's not to knock on them. But just physically look at them compared to this team. Doesn't mean they...
Hey, this is Cheech. And this is Chong, and you're listening to Covino and Rich, so listen up.
To get the rest of what Covino and Rich said, podcast it by searching Covino and Rich. And as always, you can hear Covino and Rich weekdays at 5 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
This is the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
If I'm Steve Kerr, this is what I do at this point, right? To give you a big blank you to everybody that wanted to say, Jason Tatum's not playing now, Joel Embiid's not playing. We told you this is an overblown controversy, right? You think we're on hot take? No, this is overblown. Everybody's spending time on this. There's nothing. Because no one is upset on Team USA. No one's going public with any kind of complaints. Everybody is fine. As Does everybody want to be playing more? Of course they do. But this is the Olympics. This is how it goes. And they won every game by 15 points. Everything is fine. Kerr is the best coach. We told you he was the best coach. Now you're seeing, okay, he's managing the egos, and they're winning games. But if I'm Steve Kerr, I do this, right? I do this.
Okay, let's go.
I am sick of all the... I go full Karate Kid if I'm Steve Kerr.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Ben Maller.
The General of Degenerates has arrived.
Heard of him?
I worked with Ben for a long time, and he has all these wild takes and flies off the handle, and, I got to kind of bring him back down. It doesn't work, but I try.
The man is a living monument to ineptitude.
He's Ben Maller, and he's talking all night long.
So I've got Vin Diesel,
Kangaroo Court, and Tommy Lasorda.
It's the Ben Maller Show. Weeknights at 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Go! Check them out.
FS1.
Check them out.
FS1. And here's what you need to know.
USA men's basketball came back to beat Serbia today, 95-91, 36 points for Steph Curry. The U.S. advances to Saturday's Olympic gold medal game against host France, which narrowly won its semifinal against Germany, 73-69. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final after testing positive for COVID this week. Lyles will miss tomorrow's relay. There are two NFL exhibitions tonight. Third quarter, the Patriots at home lead 7-0 over Carolina, and in the third, the Giants at home are up 14-3 on Detroit. The Lions on third down conversions just 1 of 10. Cincinnati Reds are tied in the top of the 10th at Miami, 3-3. Angels now lead at the Yankees, 8-1 in the bottom of the 6th. Blue Jays 7-2 over Baltimore, top of the 6th. Padres 7-6 winners at Pittsburgh. I'm Steve DeSager.
Do you know who this is? Fox Sports Radio's Odd Couple. One guy's married, one guy is divorced, one guy has no kids, one guy has 2 beautiful daughters, one guy went to college in a cornfield in Ohio, one guy went to an Ivy League school in the big city, one guy spends his Sunday morning seated in the pew.
Does this seem weird to anybody else?
The other spends it throwing money at the pole. Can these two sports writers share a radio show without driving each other crazy? Live from the TireRack.com studios of Fox Sports Radio with Ephraim Salam sitting in for Rob Parker. Here's Chris Broussard.
All right, we are the Odd Couple. Ephraim's in for Rob. We're live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. They've got an unmatched selection. Fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, and more than 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. At the bottom of the hour, we will do Tysher's Tower of Trivia. Ephraim did it with me once. I believe I think I let him win just to, it
First of all, you've never let me do anything on this show. Just FYI.
Well, tonight, I'm going to show you what time it is.
Okay.
And take you to the woodshed.
Oh, the
in
woodshed.
Tysher's Tower.
Oh, the woodshed.
Since you don't appreciate my kindness.
No, I don't.
And generosity in that regard.
Fake generosity. Right. Nope.
We will see. That's in 30 minutes. Y'all keep it locked for that. But anyway, Sporting News, Ephraim, did an interesting article about all the different dream teams. Redeem Team. I'm calling this Redeem Team 2. The Dream Team. You had Dream Team 2 in 1996 and all of that good stuff. Rob G's going to summarize it for us because he thinks we're forgetting a team that was tremendous.
Yeah, so what they did was, because everyone likes to debate who's the best team, Redeem Team, Dream Team, this Avengers team, whatever. But what gets lost in these conversations, and Chris, you alluded to it earlier, is like during the Dream Team, Magic had taken a year off. Larry Bird was a shell of himself. This year's team, LeBron's great, but he's 39. So you're maybe not getting the version that we all talk about of Magic, of Larry, of LeBron. So what they did is they ranked every single player who played for the Olympic team since 1992. because that was the first year they allowed professional players. But what they did, though, is they judged them based on the 4 years leading up to that team. So if it was Kobe in 2008, it was what he did from 05 to 08. And they gave a point system. You got points for all NBA, first team, second team, third team, points for championship, points for MVPs, yada, yada, yada. And what they determined, surprise, surprise, was that 1992 Michael Jordan is the single greatest player to ever play for Team USA basketball, which is not real shocking at all.
And was this completely like based on numbers, or was there anything subjective?
The only things that they factored in, nothing to do with Olympics. So how you played in the Olympics was immaterial. What they factored in again was MVP, which all NBA team you made, a finals appearance, a scoring title, an all-star team. And you got different points for each one. So it worked out that Michael Jordan was the greatest player. 1992 version is the greatest
It's
player we've ever
interesting
seen.
because he had won. Well, yeah, he had won 2 rings at that point.
He had a couple of finals
And LeBron,
MVPs, couple of MVPs.
When LeBron played in 08, he hadn't won any. But did LeBron play in 2012?
Yeah, and so what's interesting about this list is that you have guys who played in multiple Olympics. So Kobe, based on their point system, 2008 Kobe is number 6, and 2012 Kobe is number 7. Because for those 4 years before each Olympics, he was doing all kinds of stuff.
Give us the top 10.
So the top 5 in order: 1992 Michael Jordan, 2012 LeBron James. This is a shocker. 2004 Tim Duncan. People forget 2004 Team Olympics was terrible, but Tim Duncan at that time was fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely.
1996 Hakeem Olajuwon was 4th. 1992 Magic Johnson was 5th. 2012 Kobe, followed by 2008 Kobe. 1996 Scottie Pippen. 1996 David Robinson, and 2020 Kevin Durant.
And they're including the 2024 team?
Yes. And the problem is with that situation is there hasn't been really repeat champions. So the highest person on this current list is Joel Embiid on the heels of all of his all-NBA teams and scoring titles and so on. Wow. Next closest behind him is Jason Tatum. But if you look at this list, and again, there's 108 names on it, what stands out to me is that if you look at just the top 25, everybody thinks of the Dream Team, this Avengers team, the Redeemed. These are the greatest Olympic teams of all time. In the top 25, the Dream Team has 5 players. The Redeemed team has 3 players. And the 1996 Dream Team 2 leads the way with 6 players, which means, according to Sporting News, that team is the greatest, most talented team we've ever sent to the Olympics.
And who was on that team?
A lot of guys from the Dream Team.
I'm going to read. I mean, it was stacked. I'll read it to you in order of the scoring. Charles Barkley was the leading scorer. And, it was 12 points a game because obviously they weren't playing as much. But Charles Barkley, David Robinson, Reggie Miller, Scottie Pippen, Grant Hill, Mitch Richmond, Shaquille O'Neal, Penny Hardaway pre-injury, Karl Malone. It's surprising Malone's only, was that low in the scoring, but Karl Malone, Gary Payton, Hakeem Olajuwon. He only averaged 5 points on that team, played 12 minutes a game. Again, remember, this is when they were blowing teams out. And then the lower scorer was John Stockton. So that team was stacked. There was no Christian Laettner.
That team seems like
they'd be a problem.
They'll be a serious problem.
Look at the size. Here's what you got.
Goodness
the
gracious.
Size, you have David Robinson, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaq.
You got
inside.
Brother, you got a problem on your hands.
Yeah. On the shooters, you have Mitch Richmond,
Reggie Miller,
and Stockton could shoot. He just didn't shoot a lot. Then you just straight scorers. I mean, Barkley, Karl Malone, and then you had I'll throw in playmakers: Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway pre-injury, obviously Stockton, Gary Payton, who was a Hall of Fame point. Like that's a heck of a team right there.
That's a problem.
I mean, you could argue just because, like we said, Magic was, a year removed from NBA play, and Bird was not himself. I mean, be an argument there. Elijah Wine is better than Ewing.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean again, they don't have Magic, but they got Stockton.
And Chris, what this article is pointing out, and Ephraim, is maybe not necessarily that they have better players because Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, this team, Steph,
Yeah, that's the
LeBron.
thing. There was no Jordan there.
What this article is pointing out is at the time we got these players, that 1996 team was the team that had the most guys in the prime at the best point in time in their career.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, and I remember seeing that. I actually covered that team a little bit, and I mean, again, and you'll remember this, Ephraim. Those were the days when, I mean, it was just a joke. These games were a joke.
Yeah.
Like you might watch the first 10 minutes. And
you had to go do something else?
Yeah, because, I mean, we were not only blowing their teams out by 40, 30, 25, whatever it might be, but we were blowing them out early. If my recollection serves me right, like it wasn't something. Now today obviously wasn't even a blowout, but even I think it was the last game who we played before Serbia, but for the first quarter and a half, maybe three quarters of the first half, it was
a game. It was a game.
Yeah. And then we generally pull away because we got so much more talent. But that wasn't happening back then.
No.
And again, I think, Ephraim, we had not only the great talent, but I just think, call me. I think that we had a better understanding of playing team basketball.
Well, yeah, because everybody grew up playing team basketball.
That's how you grew up back then.
That's how it was. Look, that whole soliloquy I went on about the point guard and this, that's a real thing.
Yep.
That's a real thing. Like, you were raised and taught positions.
Yep.
And how to get the best out of a team and how to prepare and how to do, like, everybody wasn't doing everything.
Well, and the offenses you grew up running, you moved.
Yes.
And everybody, even if you had a star on your team, it wasn't like give him the rock and everybody kind of watch him go to work and maybe spot up to an open
They actually
spot
ran
where
plays.
he might pass to you. Right, you ran plays. And I understand when you are so talented with the basketball and athletic that nobody can kind of stop you one-on-one. You just kind of drive by guys, right? Oh, we can just give it to him and he can beat anybody. But that's not going to be a talented team, even if they're a little bit less talented than you, if they're playing together.
You know what else that I have realized just watching the games and what's lacking? This notion of nobody goes to rebound anymore.
Well, Embiid had 4 rebounds today.
So what happens is, because there are no true positions, you don't have a person who is dedicated to crashing the board every time. A lot of times when you watch the Olympics or NBA basketball, a shot goes up and you see everybody before the shot even gets to the rim trotting back down the other side.
Yep.
Right?
They want to stop the fast break.
There is no one crashing the board. Now, if you're down there and the shot goes up, okay. But no one is coming from 15 feet out and crashing the boards. Right? Like, Dennis Rodman would average 30 rebounds a game in today's NBA. Because he would be the one person crashing the board every time the shot went out, no matter where he was on the court. And I think in itself, that's a lost art, right? So you're willing to concede a rebound opposed to contesting it, maybe tipping it out, right? Like there's no effort going into attacking the rebound. If you're, like I said, if you're down there, then no one boxes out anymore. Then you box out, and then you'll try to tip it around or grab it or whatever. To me, though, all of these things are lost arts, like things that The teams that do well are teams that have multiple shots on one possession, right? You get double attempts, multiple attempts. That's why Nikola Jokic is so valuable. We almost blew it in the fourth quarter of that game because we couldn't get a rebound. We gave Serbia 3-4 opportunities. I'm talking about this is in the final 2 minutes at scoring a bucket. And I was just like, wow, no, my wife screamed at the top of her lungs, grab the rebound. Like nobody
Didn't South Sudan get that?
Yes.
When we almost lost? Yeah. They got, I think, 3 shots at the rim.
That's what
2 of them rebounds.
That's the whole thing. They're crashing the boards. It's especially for the NBA. It's a lost art. And if you don't believe me, just watch some games and you'll see no effort going into offensive rebounding. Or it's just weird to me.
In the late 90s, early 2000s, when I was covering the league, teams started, you might send 2 guys to the rim or you might send 1 for the offensive glass. But the priority was on getting back defensively. That's when, remember, the league was very defensive-minded, low scoring. And part of it was that teams they were like, look, we'll give up the offensive rebound unless this one man can get it. But we're getting most of our guys back to stop the transition game.
Yeah, and I don't know how much of a fan of that I am. I don't know if I like that aspect.
I don't think it's quite as pronounced now. But also, you also get a lot of long rebounds today because they're taking so many more threes and long jump shots. But yeah, like I said, Joel Embiid, biggest dude on the floor, had 4 rebounds today. Now, in fairness, Jokic only had 5. But all right, we're gonna give the callers a chance. 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in on what we saw today. This will be your first time to weigh in. Team USA pushed to the limit by Serbia. Ephraim's mad about it. He's bothered by it. And he actually is thinking France might take us out. What do you think about today's game and about Saturday's championship against France? 877-99 on Fox. Your turn to weigh in. Now, job searching can be a lonely process. Endless searches, phone calls that go nowhere, applications that vanish, poof, into thin air. It's time for a better way to find a job. And Express Employment Professionals is the local jobs expert you can trust. And they never charge a fee to help with your job search. So go to expresspros.com to find the office near you. Each year, tens of thousands of job seekers find work with the help of Express Employment Professionals. And Express helps people find all kinds of jobs: manufacturing, logistics, customer service, accounting, and more. Getting an interview with Express can be as easy as a phone call. And with just one application with Express Employment Professionals, you are in the running for numerous opportunities in your community. Make your job search easier by letting the professionals at Express be your talent agent to find you the right spot on the right team. Express Employment Professionals is your one connection for getting a job. Visit expresspros.com today.
Check this out. Miss a second of today's show? Well, good news. Right after the show, the podcast will be up.
How cool is that?
Just search The Odd Couple with Rob Parker and Chris Broussard wherever you get your podcast. And be sure to follow, rate, and review it.
Check it out!
Again, just search The Odd Couple wherever you get your podcast.
I can't wait to hear this.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online at hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation to determine the ED medication that's best for you. Discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and a range of treatment options, including trusted generic alternatives to the name brands, at up to 95% off. ED is personal, and at Hims, so is treating it. Just go to hims.com/joy and get connected to a licensed medical provider online for free, with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21 while supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
Life hack number 7. Get an iPhone 12 on Straight Talk.
Life hack.
Here's how it works. You walk into Walmart, go to the electronics section, ask for iPhone 12 with 5G and a dual camera system, and select a new Silver Unlimited plan. They'll smile because it's a good plan. You get real unlimited data all for just $20 a month for the whole first year. Get it at Walmart or StraightTalk.com. Straight Talk. Less dollars, more sense. Taxes and fees apply. Requires activation of iPhone 12 and a new Silver Unlimited plan or higher end auto pay enrollment. $25 a month service credit applied for up to 12 months if eligibility requirements are met. For network management practices, visit StraightTalk.com.
3, 2, 1.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
I think when you're looking at legacy now, which is what this is, who wants a piece of me?
It's sports.
We'll see if we can upset a fan base today.
Oh, yeah. It's life.
My wife goes, what are you going to do, watch football?
Mm-hmm. It's the Dan Patrick Show.
Yeah. In the right offense, he can be that player.
Bringing sports and life together.
Man, I love doing this job.
Weekdays at 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
It's amazing.
This is
The Herd. When Colin Cowherd drops the info, The Herd, you need to listen.
everybody listen up.
Quarterback Jalen Hurts and head coach Nick Sirianni at no point last year was it a healthy relationship. And when they're together one-on-one, it doesn't work at all. It doesn't work at all. It works a little better when you have somebody who is a buffer between the young quarterback and the young coach. And this is key, because this is what my sources told me when he got the job. I didn't think it was going to work. A source described a lack of respect for Sirianni's X's and O's, and that's important. So I made 2 phone calls when Nick Sirianni got hired. They both said the same thing. He's not ready. He doesn't have an expertise on either side of the ball yet. You could criticize Lincoln Riley at USC. He knows offense. You can criticize, Kirby Smart, first year at Georgia, but the defense immediately got better. Immediately. The great coaches, even the really good ones, Matt Eberflus in Chicago, he got the defense figured out. The last 10 weeks of the year, Chicago's the best defense in the league. And that's in a division with a lot of good offensive coaches, right? So Sirianni doesn't have an expertise. And so people aren't buying it. There was also something that I pointed out, and people love to push back, but I knew I was right. Remember his opening press conference? It was a disaster. It was just word salad. He was nervous. It does matter. Sean McVay and DeMeco Ryans' opening press conference. Sharp.
If you're eager to find out what Colin said next, just podcast it by searching The Herd. And as always, you can listen live to Colin Cowherd weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Want the best?
We're waiting.
A straight shooter.
That's the kind of guy that I am.
2 words. Doug Gottlieb.
Yo, let me grab this mic right here one time.
Better yet, Coach Gottlieb.
I got it.
Admit, your afternoons just got better.
Dude, you get everybody in, you look them in the eye and go, let's go. You know who I am. Like, do you understand the value in that?
It's the Doug Gottlieb Show. Weekdays at 3 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Pacific. Right here on Fox Sports Radio.
Fox Sports Radio.
Here we go.
So how do you like it?
The question is this.
You like it like this?
I'm strictly talking basketball.
Or like this?
Baseball tends to be, of all our sports, very much steeped in tradition.
And what about this?
Basically, the NFL has found ways to make money off of everything. Like it a lot.
Whatever it is that you like, we've got it covered. It's sports the way you like it on Fox Sports Radio.
FS1.
Call your friends and ask how they doing.
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Boom. Trust your eyes.
FS1.
All right, we want to congratulate Liz L. from Pine Bluff, Arkansas. She was our first winner for a set of 4 brand new tires in the summer of Tire Rack sweepstakes. Excuse me. And now it's time to give away some more. Fox Sports Radio has teamed up with TireRack.com to reward lucky listeners with a set of 4 brand new tires, valued at up to $1,500. We do that every 2 weeks this summer, so 2 more listeners are set to receive a set of 4 new tires plus installation, taxes, and fees. Again, it's all valued at up to $1,500. As America as a whole struggles with rising expenses, we here at Fox Sports Radio want to give back and really put something valuable into the hands of our loyal listeners, and that means you. So you can register for this opportunity daily by going to foxsportsradio.com. You can get the rules there as well. And again, every day, every single day, you can register and get a fresh new entry to boost your chances of winning right there at foxsportsradio.com. It's all furnished by TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be. 877-99 on Fox. It's your turn to weigh in. We've been talking a lot about Team USA, which is a team that is so stacked with legendary players that everyone's been comparing them, and a lot of people favorably, to the 1992 Dream Team, which was historic. And yet today, against Nikola Jokic, the best player in the world, okay, we get that. But with 2 other NBA players, I believe, and then basically a bunch of EuroLeague guys, they pushed the Team USA, led them all but 3.5 minutes, and led them by as many as 17 points. And so we want to get your thoughts, both from this game and going forward in the Saturdays against France. 877-99 on Fox, your turn.
All right, we got Rod in Detroit. You on the Odd Couple with Chris and Ephraim. What you got?
Hey, what's up, fellas? How's everybody doing?
Good, good.
Well, let me say this. Jokic is not the best player, bruh. You got KD, LeBron, and the other guy. What's his name? Steph Curry. And what's the other guy name? Curry. And Ty.
How's he's won 3 of the last 4 MVPs and a championship.
I don't buy
and
it.
almost beat all of those guys you mentioned.
I don't
with
buy
with
it. I
minor
like
leaguers.
I like those 4 over the chubby kid, whatever his name.
Well, when you give me a basketball reason, I'll give you some credence. Why?
Okay.
Why you like him over here?
That. I will do that, but not right now. I want to get to
my
point.
Well, then you got nothing. You got nothing.
Let me get to my point of who's
you shouldn't have made that point if you wasn't going to try to defend it.
Bro, I am not pressed about Jokic like that. Like you.
Go ahead, man. Bye.
Yeah, first of all, y'all don't call up here with no foolishness, all right? If
Right.
you feel a certain type of way, just back it up.
We're
not saying you can't have your opinion. Just give us something. Just gonna be like, I don't want to get into a basketball stuff.
He's chubby.
Come on, man. Get on up out of here.
Right? Come on.
We got Scott in North Carolina. You on the Odd Couple with Chris and Ephraim. What you got?
What's up, man? How y'all doing?
Good, brother. Good.
Hey, when Rob coming back? It's like he's gone for 2 weeks now, man.
That's what happens when you got that type of money, man. You can just
actually he'll be back next week.
Okay. Well, this is actually the first Olympic basketball game I watched with Team USA, and when I was seeing it, the first quarter, them other boys, they came out to play. Serbia, they came out to play. They was playing hard, and I wanted them to win, just because it'll be interesting to see Jokic take down all them guys like that. But USA, they stepped it up in the fourth quarter, and Joel Embiid, he came and he showed up, so need to put respect on his name. But I have no worry about them playing France just because of the guard play. I watched the France game too, and their guard play isn't up to par with our guard play, so I'm not really worried about that. But hats off to Serbia. They came to play, and LeBron, he stepped up, and Curry stepped up, but definitely put some respect on my guy Joel.
All right, thank you, man. I appreciate that. We got one more. We got Rich in Texas. You on the Odd Couple with Chris and Ephraim. What you got?
Hey guys, thanks for taking my call. I just thought it would be interesting to compare. When Jordan and Kobe and them, did they ever have any close games, and how close were they? Because I just feel like Jordan and Kobe, they had that killer instinct right from the get go, and they wouldn't allow that kind of stuff, those games to be that close. Not to say that LeBron hasn't taken over games or anything like that, but I just feel like those guys had a more of a killer instinct in the Olympics. And then the other interesting thing, I would like to take that dream team and use that scoring system if they were leading up to playing in the '88 Olympics. I bet you they would fare a lot better than because Bird and Magic and those guys were kind of past their prime when they played.
Yeah. I mean, the Dream Team had no close games. They won by an average of 40 something.
Yeah, it wasn't even like by halftime. It was a wrap. Like
Right.
it was. I mean, you were just watching your favorite players just do anything on the court.
Right.
then.
Right. They did. They won by an average of 43.8 points. So nothing was. Now the world, the world obviously wasn't as good as it is now.
No, it wasn't.
But it still was decent.
But that defensive pressure with Scotty and Michael, man, you couldn't do nothing, man.
Ridiculous.
You couldn't do anything.
Ridiculous. And then Kobe, they won by 11 over Spain,
which was a tight game.
It was a tight game, so that one was tight. And Kobe was huge in that game down the stretch, and they don't win it without Kobe. So, all right, Teicher's Tower of Trivia is next, but first, Steve DeSager with the update. Steve?
Guys, I just remember the story from the 92 Olympics when the U.S. absolutely slaughtered Angola to start things, and somebody got to play off the bench for them and actually yelled at his own teammate during the game, "Grab a camera, I'm guarding Larry Bird." That kind of thing was going on in international basketball way back then.
Right.
Today was a sensational basketball game. In fact, as your guest said earlier, 2 sensational semifinals at the Olympics in Paris. First, France won over Germany 73-69. Now, France made the Olympic final 3 years ago in Tokyo and lost to the U.S. after beating the Americans in the opener in 2021. Yeah, it'll be France against the U.S. this weekend. Saturday, the gold medal game. The Americans are there because they came from behind to beat Serbia 95-91. The U.S. trailed by 17 in the second quarter and by 15 points late in the third. The U.S. shot 57% from the floor. Steph Curry was sensational. He had 17 points just in the first quarter. 14 of the first 15 scored by the U.S. Eventually 36 points for Curry. From three-point range, he was 9 for 14. LeBron James, a triple-double. Joel Embiid, 19 points. The Americans led for less than 3.5 minutes in this game, but they do advance. We mentioned it earlier in the show. Serbia from three-point range after 3 quarters was 15 for 30, but in the fourth, 0 for 9 on three-pointers. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final. U.S. women's volleyball won its semifinal in 5 sets over Brazil. 2 NFL exhibitions, and yet again, if you're not seeing it, you're not missing anything. It's exhibition football. For example, the Carolina Panthers are now down 10-0 early fourth quarter at New England. Carolina's offense with 9 punts and 90 yards in the first 3 quarters of play. Early fourth quarter, the Giants at home lead the Lions 14-3. The Falcons place wide receiver Rondale Moore on injured reserve. He's out for the season. The White Sox fired manager Pedro Grifol on the MLB scoreboard tonight. The Reds have the lead now in the 10th inning. Well, a lot of scoring in the 10th, and the Reds have just closed it out 10-4 at the Marlins. Angels lead at the Yankees 9-1 in the 8th, and it's Blue Jays over the Orioles 7-2 in the 9th. Padres won their 5th in a row today. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Steve. Have a great weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess it's...
And tomorrow,
yeah.
People still working, man. Come on, man.
Yes. All right. We are live from the TireRack.com studios. If you're tired of feeling alone in your job search, with just one connection, you can find endless job opportunities. And that connection, of course, Express Employment Professionals. Don't go alone. Visit expresspros.com to find the location nearest you. That's expresspros.com. All right, it is time, y'all. It's been away for a while, but Teicher's Tower of Trivia is back.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, vegans and meat eaters, kale chip lovers, ruffle chip lovers, it's time.
This game is so easy.
For Teicher's Tower of Trivia.
That's right. It is Tysher's Tower of Trivia, a segment that has even me and Alex confused because we're pretty sure we did it last week, Chris. I don't know what you mean. It's been gone for a while.
Was I off last
I think
week?
you were. I think you were.
August
1st, if I recall, you and Rob haven't done a show together since July.
Wow.
So, yeah.
Uh-oh. It must be. Is there rumblings out there online about them not getting along? Uh-oh.
Are there?
They fighting, y'all.
All I know.
Are there rumblings out there? Real talk.
No, I don't think so.
We getting along great. Just.
But if things go sideways, you know who the anonymous source is going to be? It's going to be me.
Rob G.
It's going to be
Rob
me.
G.
I'm telling everything that I know. All right, again, the star of this segment, our resident DJ, a.k.a. Tom Crady, a.k.a. the Anime Senpai, a.k.a. the distributor of the greatest podcast in history. Shallow Oceans, none other than my man, Alex Tysher.
It's great to be in the honor of a professional broadcaster like Ephraim Salam finally on this show. So it's a great honor to finally be here.
Remember, Alex, I told him in no uncertain terms that I was taking him to the woodshed in this segment. So
No, though it was those
Just
certain
remember
terms, right? It was.
I think so.
Yeah, it was those actual terms.
yeah, no
Very-
uncertain terms.
No,
so
very
certain.
certain.
Ephraim, you think we can get Chris Broussard
It's
in
just
like a...
kind of a classy way of saying.
I want to see Chris Broussard in a lumberjack outfit actually hacking would now at the
That would be
woodshed.
good.
I would love to see that.
Go out
Get
in
that
the
on
back.
FS1, CB.
Go out in the back and cut some wood, man.
Want to see it.
All right, guys, you guys know the rules to this game. One word, no rhyming. It's got to be a real word. I don't think I got to break down the rules again. But in honor of the upcoming gold medal match between USA and France, all of these topics are France and USA basketball themed. Flip a coin during the update. Ephraim, if you check your email, you will see what the questions are.
I see.
Because I know you notoriously do not check your email. But Chris Broussard got question number 1. So call it a home field advantage. Here we go, Chris, for 10 points. French wing Gershon Yabusele was getting MVP chance today against Serbia. But before that, shout out Rob Parker, he had a cup of coffee and a sweet roll in the NBA with the blank Celtics.
Alex, you ready?
Rob, I thought you're on vacation. That's crazy. But Chris, yes, I'm ready.
All right, here we go. Champions.
You are really trusting in my knowledge here, CB. Champions. Rob, do you give me again?
We're looking for the name of the NBA team, the blank Celtics.
Champions. Where does Brady from? Boston.
Why you gotta be Tom Brady, man?
Tom Brady. You call me Tom Crady.
I don't even like Tom Brady. All right, level number 2 over to Ephraim Salam. Sticking in the French team. Rudy Gobert hasn't played much the last 2 games, but he's so good at blocking shots in the NBA that his nickname is the Stifle Blank.
Eiffel.
Tower.
Boom.
Okay.
There it is.
That was good.
That was good.
I see you.
I saw the hand movement.
Yeah,
and
the hand
everything.
movement helped.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ephraim. Thank you for that.
All right, I'm going to sit on my hands.
Here we go.
I'm just going to put them in my pockets.
Here we go.
Level number 3, all tied up 10 points apiece. Tysher's Tower of Trivia, USA versus France edition. Only 2 players did not play for Team USA today in their win over, was it Siberia? Is that the right team? I think Siberia the right team. Serbia. I don't know what I typed.
Siberia.
Tyrese Halliburton, and we'll get to this next segment, blank Tatum.
All right, here we go, Alex.
I'm ready, CB. Thank you for asking. Ephraim never asks.
Halloween. You need him to read the question.
Yeah, please. Halloween.
That sounds like a cop-out, Chris. Only 2 players didn't play. Tyrese Halliburton and blank Tatum.
Halloween.
Okay. Oh, Chris, what do you say? Halloween. It's a name. Oh, I think I remember. It's Jason, right? Like Jason Tatum. Yeah.
That's
okay.
a clue.
Okay.
First of all, that's not a clue. You want to know why that's not a clue?
Why?
Because Halloween, that's Michael Myers.
Yeah, you should have said Michael.
Friday the 13th is Jason.
Yeah.
So that's not a clue.
I really wanted to say Freddy.
So while you over there patting yourself on the back, that was trash.
I wanted to say Freddy,
But he's like, I'm pretty sure there's not a guy named Freddie Tatum.
Tatum? Like,
not
oh.
right.
It's like making
I was
a
like,
three-pointer
Michael
off
Tatum?
the glass.
Who are we talking about?
It went in. It went in.
Garbage.
It went in.
One time, Alex guessed Fred Trump instead
Yeah.
of Donald Trump.
Fred Trump.
Rob was so mad. He's like, who the heck is Fred Trump? And then we find out later there is a guy named Fred Trump.
There is.
So, you know.
So Jason was Friday. Wait, Jason was Friday the 13th.
Yes.
Friday the 13th.
Oh,
I'm gonna
CB.
play Jason. That's
Oh, CB.
No, you totally got that wrong.
Yeah.
All right.
And yeah.
All right. But you're winning, so
And
it's okay.
Freddy Krueger was Nightmare Elm.
There you go.
There you go.
But hey, it don't matter. We got it.
I'm mad about that. I'm like, oh, he ain't gonna get this. That's not even right.
I was going to say Freddy, but that didn't sound
Okay,
right.
level number 4 over to Ephraim Salam. Victor Wembanyama. One of the rare 2 nickname guys in sports, like Ephraim Salam. Most people call him Wemby, but the folks at Nike call him the blank.
Oh, God. Oh, that's tough. Are you ready, Alex?
Thank you. Yes, I was nervous for a sec.
Okay.
You're saying it's tough. This isn't helping me.
You look like you don't even know what the nickname is.
I do.
Okay.
All right.
But
Look
it's
confused.
so off. Can you
Okay.
read the question again and then
Okay,
I'll
He's
get
got 2 nicknames.
Yes.
Wemby and the blank.
Everyone knows it's Wemby.
Shout out Rob Parker, man.
Alex, play the jingle.
Let me go with.
It's a lot of words.
That's a
Ephraim.
lot of words.
One word, baby. We are sticklers for the rules here.
We are the David Stern of commissioners.
So by the rule book, let is his word.
E.T.
That's not even a word. Hit the buzzer.
That doesn't work. I can't use E.T.
No.
Okay, my bad. Okay, my fault.
I mean, does he get another
No,
one?
you
or
don't get
Pat?
another
It
chance.
moves
Wait,
on to me,
hold on.
right?
Wait a second. Wait 1 second.
What?
That's a name.
It's not a word.
What you talking about?
E.T. is not a word.
That's
I don't know what to call ET.
That's
Listen,
not a word.
Except Chris,
No.
your turn.
Steve DeSager, is E.T. a word?
What is it?
Come on,
Just
for
yes
real,
or no,
seriously.
Steve? It's 2 words. He's 2
It's
letters.
not
He said no,
2
it's not.
words.
Okay, switching over.
So E.
E. Okay, now he's just saying the letter E.
He's already done had about 8 words.
That's crazy to me.
My turn.
Yeah, it's
This
Chris's
is how
turn.
you. This is how you win, though. This is what you do. I get it.
Get the woodshed ready.
I know what's going on here.
Here we go. It's simple. This was all you had to say was this, Ephraim. Martian.
I think I know what it is because of your not clue.
Oh,
Because of mine, right?
Yeah.
of course. But that's hard. They didn't want to keep. They didn't want to keep it. But that's fine. Go ahead.
You know what?
Martian.
This is bogus. This is bogus.
I'm going to say Marvin.
That is incorrect. Back to Ephraim. Okay, Ephraim, don't blow this.
Strange. I think Ephraim promised
Space.
Alex a dinner after the show or something like that.
Space.
Alien.
Alien
Thank
is
you.
correct.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
You wouldn't have known E.T.
Space.
if
Yeah.
I hadn't said Martian. Martian made you say, oh, Martian, E.T.,
All right.
Alien.
Whoever gets this next one's going to win. Level number, what is it, number 5?
Do I go first?
No, it's back to Chris.
Of course. Setup, man.
The most accomplished player in French basketball
It's a
history.
good Rob G, by the way.
Former Spurs guard Blank Parker.
Can you read that one more time?
Most accomplished player in French basketball history, former Spurs guard Blank Parker.
Oui.
I wish we had time for the last question. The last question is a doozy. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Uh-huh.
Can you imagine trying
No,
to get Alex to
never.
guess Cameroon? That would have been a good one.
Wait, what is it?
The last answer was Cameroon for level number 7.
Never.
We're not
What was-
getting to that.
What was the question, though?
Joel Embiid could have played for 3 countries.
Hey, man, can
for
we do
USA.
this one?
All right.
Sorry, I got
Go
excited.
ahead,
there.
Chris.
Here we go.
Okay.
Hawk. Yeah.
Was the last name Parker?
Yes.
Hawk. Bird?
That is incorrect. Ephraim with the chance to steal in the win. We're looking for a former Spurs guard, a Frenchman named Blank Parker.
Skateboard.
See?
Just combine.
First of all, isn't that 2 words?
No, skateboard is one word.
I'm looking that up.
Just
y'all in that Cali. Y'all
That's
got
Hawk,
that funny.
right?
But he wouldn't have known.
We have
that
a new
if it wasn't
champion.
for my-
And his name is Ephraim Salam.
Ephraim played off my clue. All right, our couple, keep it live. Fox Sports Radio. We gotta go to break. We got to go to break. I'm the only one following the rules.
Go to break then. Go to break.
Thanks to Rapid Radio, the official communication device of Fox Sports Radio. Rapid Radios are instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies.
Please say over when you finish talking. Over.
They help us communicate from all across the nation.
Rapid Radio. Over.
The official communication device of Fox Sports Radio.
Hey, it's the Odd Couple. You know our trusted partner, TireRack.com, for their fast, free shipping, free road hazard protection, convenient installation options, and their great selection of the best tires, like the highly consumer-rated Yokohama Avid Ascend LX. But did you know they sell other automotive products? Wheels, brakes, suspension, just to name a few. Everything you need to elevate your drive. Go to TireRack.com/sports. TireRack.com, the way tire buying should be.
At Lowe's, we know how to save pros time and money. Save 20% on 1-gallon cans and 5-gallon pails of Valspar Defense or Cabot Stain. Plus, save 15% on your choice of 6 or more Purdy items. And get free same-day delivery to the job site when you order by 2 p.m. Because Lowe's knows pros. Valid through 8/21. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See store or Lowe's.com for details. Must be single receipt purchase. Delivery by 8 p.m. Subject to driver availability. Additional terms apply. See Lowe's.com/same-day delivery for details.
And now, here's a little something that you missed from the Ben Maller Show.
Think of it like instant mashed potatoes, just add some water.
The co-owner of the Minnesota football team, a guy named Mark Wilf, confirmed the chatter is correct that the Vikings will not be giving contract extensions to the GM, Kwesi Adolpho-Mensah, or Kevin O'Connell. Neither one is getting an extension. Now, we're going to focus in on the coach. The soonest those talks would happen would be after this upcoming season. Now, the Vikings have had these guys at the helm for the last couple of years, and they're a few games over 500. They don't have a great record. It's not terrible. They're right in the middle. The owner said, quote, "It's not something we're talking about at this point. We're focusing on the season ahead." So the brain trust there for the Vikings is midway through the 4-year agreement, so they're not gone at the end of the year. It's not like they're free to roam around the NFL. They were signed in 2002, or 2022, rather. They'd be there a long time, but they were signed in 2002. But back in 2022, so they're midway through. So let us discuss. The question, should Coach Kevin O'Connell specifically be worried about his Viking future? So I've got Old Country, Sippy Cup, and Drano. To answer the question, should Kevin O'Connell, coach in Minnesota, be worried about his Viking future? I'm nodding my head yes. Because the decorum of the NFL says if you're happy with the coach and you know it, you give him an extension after 2 years.
To get the rest of what Big Ben said, podcast it by searching The Ben Maller Show. And as always, you can hear The Ben Maller Show weekdays from 2 a.m. Eastern, 11 p.m. Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. This is The Herd.
Wow, 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 wow.
With Colin Cowherd.
Micah Parsons just discombobulated the Cowboys offense. Micah Parsons says, "I'm eating now. It's pretty much over. I'm in rhythm. I can single-handedly wreck the Cowboys offense." Really? Do you remember how dominating Micah Parsons was against the youngest playoff team since 1970, the Green Bay Packers? He was invisible. He was also invisible mostly against Detroit, no sacks, and the Niners, no sacks and 2 pressures. He's talented like Dak. He's not a savior. He's not as powerful as Myles Garrett. He's not as relentless as Bosa for the Niners or T.J. Watt for the Steelers. He's not. He's Aiden Hutchinson of the Lions, a very good player, The difference is he is sold to us like a legend.
This is The Herd with Colin Cowherd.
Wow.
Weekdays at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific.
Love it. Embrace it right now.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan Patrick.
Apparently, Jalen Hurts was going rogue sometimes, and Sirianni took the heat, but it proved to be a cover. He was covering for Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. Brown revealed that he and Hurts improvised and went on our own, quote, on the play. Yeah, Paul.
Doesn't this feel like one of those stories where if the Eagles had won a lot to end the season, it'd be like, look at these guys. He trusts his quarterback to let him freelance. The results make the story sound so much worse.
Well, they were 10-1 to start the season, and then 1-6 down the stretch. Staff changes, a lot of questions, dysfunctional. I mean, this is a mess. Now, maybe they've righted the ship here, but Nick Sirianni's on the hot seat.
The Dan Patrick Show.
Dan and the Danettes and you.
Weekdays, 9 a.m. Eastern, 6 Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Scrolling mindlessly. We know all about your social media habits. So, scroll past the cute dog videos. Scroll past the DIY, the ones that you have no business watching. And the thirst traps.
Wait a minute.
Fine, you can look at those, but start putting that algorithm to use.
Now it's social media.
Follow us at Fox Sports Radio. The big story of the day. Interact with us at Fox Sports Radio.
We're asking you.
Find out at Fox Sports Radio. FS1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details. FS1.
Looking for the one, what you looking at the one?
And we're back on the Odd Couple, the TireRack.com studio. Chris was severely beaten and decided that he didn't want to close out the show. I apologize. First of all, let me just say I apologize for being a guest here and coming on and literally just demolishing the host, his ego, his confidence. And I just want to apologize for that because that's not my intent. My intent is to come and bring levity and knowledge, not to make you not want to finish out the show, Chris. So I apologize, man. Look, how about this? We tied. We tied.
Funny business.
How about that? We tied. Okay, is that good? Is that good? I win every time I'm here, man. It's crazy. That's why you don't let me be here on Thursdays, man. I get it. It's cool.
Nah, man. All right. We're going to close it out with something interesting. Rob G, something's going on Twitter?
Oh, there is something going on Twitter. Now, as we mentioned in the last segment, Jason Tatum was one of only 2 players to not play in today's game against Serbia. And during the game, his mother, who was very active on social media, apparently, retweeted a fan who said, if Kerr is watching this and willingly decided, yeah, Jason Tatum could not help here, he legitimately cannot coach in 2028. So that was bad in and of itself. But then after the game, several hours, in fact, after they've already won, they've advanced to the gold medal game, she retweeted a Dick Vitale tweet and quote tweeted it, actually. Here's the original Vitale tweet. Someone please let me know, is Jason Tatum injured? He hasn't received any playing time you would expect an all-NBA player to get. His mom quote tweets it. No.
That was Dick Vitale?
Dick Vitale. And again, this is way after they've already won. No, he's not injured. But if you find out what's going on, please let me know. This is unacceptable. Makes no sense. So he's playing the good soldier, but people in his camp not happy about it.
Of course, that's what happens when, I'm sure people in Joel Embiid's camp wasn't happy. I'm sure people in Tyrese Halliburton's camp or even more furious.
The thing is, I think though for Halliburton, because he's so young, and you can even just see it in the way he's handling it on the bench. He's just happy to be here.
Right.
You know, no expectation of him. Jason Tatum just won a championship. Look, he's behind two legends, Durant and LeBron. Now you can not argue. You could say he could have played instead of Devin Booker and obviously all that. But I think he has to look at it like it's just a matchup situation or a team, you know, the way the roster's constructed. He's obviously better than Drew Holiday and Derek White. And
not
so
defensively, though.
No, but I do think on a team like this where you don't have to focus on scoring, he could focus on defense.
Yeah, but is he, though?
Really
he could do it, but we know what Derek White and Drew Holiday, we know what they're there for, right? So when you have a LeBron, a Steph, a KD, right, now you really need the defense now, right? LeBron is going to give you it in spurts. Steph has never been a defensive juggernaut. And KD, you know, he can play defense.
Tell Tatum, no, just like Kobe said. Now, he's not the defender Kobe was, but you could tell him, look, we want you to focus on defense.
Yeah, but if that's not been in your wheelhouse, telling somebody to do that, and that's not what they do.
Because he ain't a bad defender. It ain't like he's Steph Curry
he's not
defensive.
a bad defender, but he's not at the level of the first team all defensive players
but again, without the responsibility of having to score 25 points or 30.
Yeah,
actually,
but sometimes
I think he could.
It's difficult. Sometimes it's difficult to just snap into that position. If they haven't seen it, like they've been practicing, they've been playing, and if they haven't seen that type of defensive pressure or effort, then I get it. I understand.
I tell you what, if they had lost, you really would have heard something from Miss Tatum and other people, right? All right, couple. Ephraim, good job, except for Tysher's Tower. You cheated. We out! The other day, the show and I were introduced to the coolest walkie-talkies, Rapid Radios. Thinking about all the crazy weather and outages we've had, Rapid Radios are perfect in an emergency. Instant, push-to-talk communication, providing clear contact nationwide. They hold a charge for up to 5 days with no subscriptions or monthly fees ever. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com and get 60% off, free UPS shipping, and a free protection bag. Add code RADIO and get an extra 5% off.
Total Wireless is made to totally keep up with you. We now have unlimited data that never slows you down. Covered by the Verizon 5G network. And for less than $30 a month, we make your phone your ride or die. Switch now and pick a free 5G phone with qualified plan purchase. And your fourth line at no additional cost. Visit your local Total Wireless store today. Total Wireless, we're totally with you. Actual speeds may vary by location. For data management practices, see TotalWireless.com.
FS1.
Call your friends and ask how they doing.
To find FS1 on your television, go to foxsports.com for details.
Boom. Trust your eyes.
FS1.
Ask yourself this.
Now, here's a taste of something that you missed from the Doug Gottlieb Show. Ready?
Interesting. Justin Fields going to get the first start for the Steelers in their preseason. That's because Russell Wilson's nursing a bad calf muscle. Here's Mike Tomlin when he's asked about Fields and his competition.
I think he just comes to compete every day. He's got an awesome competitive spirit. We got a competitive environment, and it seems like he's enjoying it. He's doing a really good job of acclimating himself to it and his teammates and letting his talent show. I think everything is an audition. Everything that we do is an audition, not only for him, but for others.
I still don't buy that he's going to be their starting quarterback day one or that it's even close, but I could be wrong. Remember, the entire league had a chance at Justin Fields making very little to no money this year with not much in terms of trade value, and they all passed. Now, that doesn't mean that the entire league can't be dopes, can't be idiots, but they saw something or know something about Justin Fields, the quarterback, that the Steelers are trying to act like he maybe has overcome. I don't buy that. I just don't. And it goes back to what we said about Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts doesn't go from a guy you're like, yeah, I don't know, they might want to move on, to the greatest quarterback we've ever seen. Justin Fields doesn't go from Bears need to get a new quarterback. He can't really throw a football, to, oh my gosh, he's going to beat out Russell Wilson. So I think, the name gets us excited. The fact he was a first-round pick, a great player at Ohio State, and a guy who had some moments with the Bears. The reality is he hasn't had the time to fix all of his flaws. So if you think that the Steelers think he has...
To get the rest of what Doug said, podcast it by searching The Doug Gottlieb Show. And as always, you can hear The Doug Gottlieb Show weekdays at 3 Eastern, noon Pacific, right here on Fox Sports Radio. This is The Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
If I'm Steve Kerr, this is what I do at this point, right? To give you a big blank you to everybody that wanted to say, Jason Tatum's not playing now, Joel Embiid's not. We told you this is an overblown controversy, right? You think we're on hot take? No, this is overblown. Everybody's spending time on this. There's nothing. Because no one is upset on Team USA. No one's going public with any kind of complaints. Everybody is fine. Does everybody want to be playing more? Of course they do. But this is the Olympics. This is how it goes. And they won every game by 15 points. Everything is fine. Kerr is the best coach. We told you he was the best coach. Now you're seeing, okay, he's managing the egos, and they're winning games. But if I'm Steve Kerr, I do this, right? I do this.
Okay, let's go.
I am sick of all the... I go full Karate Kid if I'm Steve Kerr.
You're listening to Jason Smith with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio.
Are y'all ready to have some fun?
On the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon.
I'm just going to say it because it's going to seem weird.
You'll get this.
I'm not saying the guy's overrated.
And some of this.
Oh, like death, pettiness knows no tax bracket.
Whoa, hey now. And on occasion,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
What's our disaster scenario early on in the season?
That.
Yeah, baby.
Let's go.
It's the Jason Smith Show with Mike Harmon. Weeknights at 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific on Fox Sports Radio. Each week, WWE Friday Night SmackDown is live on Fox. Catch the high-flying superstars as they compete for supremacy in the ring. It's Friday Night SmackDown at 8 Eastern on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And here's what you need to know.
USA men's basketball came from behind to defeat Serbia today 95-91 to advance to Saturday's Olympic gold medal game against host France. Steph Curry had 36 points today from three-point range. He was 9 for 14. The Americans trailed by 17 in the second quarter and by 15 points late in the third. Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone won the gold again in the 400 hurdles, breaking her own world record again. Noah Lyles finished third in the 200-meter final after testing positive for COVID this week. He will miss tomorrow's relay. There are 2 NFL exhibitions tonight at New England. 2 minutes to go. Patriots 17-0 over Carolina. The Panthers have punted 10 times. 4 minutes left. The Giants at home lead 14-3 against Detroit. Baseball, the Angels lead the Yankees in the rain, now 9-4 in the bottom of the ninth inning. 10-inning wins for both San Francisco and Cincinnati. I'm Steve DeSager.
On social media, on the daytime talk shows, nighttime shows, radio shows, and we're telling you right here first, like we always do, because the name of the show should be Ahead of the Curve with Jason Smith and Mike Harmon, because we are.
This is Ahead of the Curve with Jason Smith and Mike Harmon. All those other little talk shows should take notice. Attention! Because these two have a gift. These two are the gift.
Exactly. There's no question about it.
Just ask their producer.
You idiots.
I think Justin Frostberg was speaking for America.
Live from the TireRack.com Fox Sports Radio studios. Here they are, our nightly gift to you. Jason Smith and Mike Harmon.
Greetings, welcome inside. What a glorious Thursday it is. Fox Sports Radio, the Jason Smith Show with my best friend Mike Harmon.
Well-dressed hobo.
Live from the TireRack.com studios. TireRack.com will help you get there. An unmatched selection, fast free shipping, free road hazard protection, and over 10,000 recommended installers. TireRack.com is the way tire buying should be. Why is today a glorious Thursday? Is it because the Mets won and the Braves lost and the Mets are back in the playoff? No. Well, that's part of it. But is it because the White Sox now have new direction, new manager? You got Ozzie, but no, you didn't do that either.
I'm wearing my jersey.
No,
I look the part.
Yeah, no, you're wearing your authentic White Sox giveaway jersey.
No, that's right.
Hey, brought to you by Del Milk with the big Del Milk logo.
Well, I mean,
on
we
the
had
side.
to, you paid for the tickets.
They gave you the free stuff, and if it wasn't, I mean, I didn't tape over the logo. I could.
This isn't real polyester. What is this, a Prudential White Sox
Look,
jersey?
I'm not walking near an open flame to test what the material is.
NBC Sports Chicago authentic fan.
That's right.
Jersey. I didn't go in the store buy one. Now I'm going to go to a game.
Yeah, you showed up with some sleeves today. So, way to
Hey,
go, Mr. Helper.
Sometimes sun's out, guns out. Sometimes it happens. But clearly, the biggest story of the day, which we will get into in depth in a couple of minutes, Team USA lives to fight another day in basketball as they hold off Serbia in the Olympics. An incredible day. But we would be remiss if we didn't get you caught up on what was happening now just for a couple of minutes here.
Yeah, we got live action.
We
Let's
got
go.
real life football going on. Not that one, hey, Hall of Fame game where everybody, no, we got real life couple of football games.
Well, you got to
happening
dismiss
right
a
now.
Bears victory.
You played, what'd you play, like 8 minutes?
It
and then
doesn't
lightning
matter.
came.
They won.
You played like
It's in
8
the
minutes.
books. It's in the books. Want to know?
There's the opening kickoff. Boy, the kickoff looks crazy. Oh, here comes the lightning. Game's over. That was the game.
Wow,
That was
completely
the game.
dismissing Brett Rippon and
That-
Colin
that was
Johnson
the
and the
game.
moment they had.
That was
Have
the
you
game.
not watched Hard Knocks yet?
I-
You had a whole other 24 hours to go back and watch the greatness.
I'd rather watch Colin Hay.
You leave Colin Hay alone. September 8th, you want to go? Ringo and the All-Star Band, let's go.
Overkill. Do. 2 games going on right now. Giants lead the Lions 14-3. This one late in the fourth quarter. Hendon Hooker getting some
It's all over for the Lions.
extended run here
did
in
you
this
say?
game. Hendon Hooker getting some extended run for the Lions.
That's his name, right?
Everything
Extra
was
time.
fine. Everything was fine. I did not say anything bad. Everything is good. He's going to be the guy that's going to be the one yelling, oh, Roger Goodell won't let anybody sell my jersey, not making money off this. No one's let me buy a Hooker jersey. I can't believe this. But
No,
everything I said was fine.
He's got extended playing time. You got to pay extra for that.
Everything I said was fine. But meanwhile, talk about extended playing time. 2 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Panthers and the Patriots. Patriots up 17-3. There's a reason why everybody seems to be really excited about Joe Milton. And I'll tell you what, he has been the star of the game tonight. Milton throwing for a touchdown and 54 yards, running for 25 yards, the big 13-yard scramble,
Where he
showing
ran
off a
72
gun.
yards.
Tell you what, 72
to
to
get
get 13. That's okay. You run 72 to get 13.
You know, Boomer, you would have had a lot of fun calling that one.
Whoop. Milton does. I'll say one this about Milton because now suddenly it's going to be, boy, is he better than Drake May? And I'm gonna die on the hill of they overdrafted Drake May. They got caught and they bullied themselves into drafting Drake May just because a quarterback was there and they were picking third.
Sure.
But I'll tell you what, and it's not that Drake May was. We played a little bit tonight. He had one drive, completed a couple of passes.
Seems like they probably should have let him have another series or so,
I
right?
think
And
so.
like if you're gonna rip that Band-Aid off and you're gonna put the kid out there, let him
Give him a little bit more time.
work up a lather,
Sure.
right? Let's actually go through a couple of changes and a couple of series to at least get your feet wet. Instead, all right, 2 or 3, 19. We'll see you later.
Yeah, no, it's all good. And look, nothing bad. Nothing. He looked fine in the very short amount of time he was in there. But Milton has come in, and I'll tell you what. First thing I saw come in and say, boy, he looks a lot lighter than he did. You talk about Lamar Jackson, the 30-pound weight loss. Joe Milton certainly looked the part his entire time in college, right? A start in Michigan where he looked like he was going to be the next great quarterback, or the guy Harbaugh was waiting for, didn't work out. And I think both teams figure out, okay, Michigan won the national title. They got J.J. McCarthy. Milton went to Tennessee, and things worked out pretty good for him here because here he is now fighting his way into the NFL.
Yeah, and he could throw that football over a mountain.
He could. He could throw it through a mountain. But he looked like he's lost a little bit of weight, moving a little bit better, and he can move and do things like this, like he did tonight.
Plays that I've hit. Good movement. Get out of here. Fans love it. They love it. There he goes.
That was a great play.
That was
oh, get out.
Yeah. I mean, play-by-play.
Fans are going to love it.
Play-by-play, you're supposed to let people know what's going on. Not like you and I watching the game and that was Joe Milton scrambling to one side, all the way back to the other side, and running for 13 yards. It was big a spin. It was a big reverse.
Big loop.